Zaraza.
1 second.
So we are watching Variant Bunny against Artem-NBO, and it's e4, d4. Let me just paste the link into the Discord. There we go.
I'm connecting.
So I was saying it must be very late where you are, Zaraza.
I not understand, sorry.
I was saying it must be late at night where you are. It must be late at night.
Ah. Yes, night.
Moscow is
23.
+5, so it must be like, you know, is it 1 in the +3, so it's 11 at night. Is that? It's not midnight. Midnight yet. So okay, so the way to protect the pawn is to pin the knight and then try and win that piece. So actually my plan tonight was, after streaming this match, I was going to look at the games from you against... I didn't know you were going to be coming on, but my plan was actually to look at the games between you and Play GM. But I'm worried it's going to be very late for you. So I was going to follow this up with a short analysis stream. So what happened here? The knight was taken, but that pawn on e4 is quite annoying. So white is actually looking a little sort of underdeveloped. Takes? Okay, I don't understand bishop a3. Because that weakens d2. So there could even be ideas of takes e5. And yet black was scared of the bishop on a3. Yeah, takes e5 came, as expected. I mean, maybe the queen trade would have been fine, it just would have been very scary.
Bad situation for white. And need to open bishop and knight.
Yeah, exactly. Need to develop the pieces. Yeah. So it's a strange situation. I'm not sure. It's just a strange position. Because black has holes as well, but Hi there, Oppa. Good evening. So yeah, I'm joined by Zaraza in the house Discord. Okay, so black is fixing the holes. So Oppa says this is a nice
This is a
position.
nice position for.
Yeah,
Huh?
go ahead, go ahead.
Open was.
So, yeah, you read out. Oppa, what did Oppa say?
Yeah.
Sorry, you got cut. Okay, so Oppa was saying this is a nice position
That's knight c5.
to question what the opening was. Yeah.
Oh, he want to take d3 maybe. Three. He want d3. No. No.
Okay, I'm wondering what the knight is doing there on a4 because I can't see it going anywhere anytime soon. Like, don't take that knight.
Knight
Don't take that knight. That knight was that knight.
bad move.
Yeah, the knight was
For
pointless. Yeah,
knight.
that's it. When you see a knight like that, you think, "Yay, it's doing nothing over there."
Oh.
Okay, I think variant bunnies will be better in time pressure here. I mean, it will be taking advantage of the time pressure.
Bunny more time.
Yeah. Having said that, this is. I was thinking block, but you can't block. Black just takes, so probably need to just back off, like queen c2.
Oh.
Oppa says, got to be careful. Knight h6 maybe. Yeah, but this is dangerous. Oh my goodness.
Bishop take, pawn take, and king open.
Well, this is certainly dangerous. But maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Queen. You can go, can you go queen takes knight if you want? No,
Free.
queen takes knight if you're brave.
Take bishop, rook.
I'm now confused. I'm now confused. Something's gone wrong. And something's gone very wrong. Oh no.
Maybe
It
needed
needed. Yeah.
knight h6.
Yeah. Knight h6, not f6. Exactly. F6 was why f6? Knight bishop could even take the knight on f6. H6. H6 because then you have the smother. I can't believe that. And of course, Variant Bunny then loses it. So that's a painful loss. Having said that, I think Artem might have had something better. I'm just going to. So in this position here, no, apparently no, there's nothing.
Yeah. 0.
But and a knight h6 apparently is not so clear to the engine. Why is it not clear? G takes h6. So it's a mate in 14, but the engine is not seeing it. With it's like a moon mate. Rook takes rook. I'm showing it on the stream. Knight at f6, and you pick up that rook. Whoa! Bishop takes, knight takes, king f8. This is a very difficult mate. At g7, if he runs this way, then pawn at d6 here. Another pawn. Okay, I'm not seeing it. But the point is, if he takes the pawn, you win the rook with check. Whereas if he runs this way, yeah. So this is a very difficult old mate. If he runs
on e7.
c7 here, and then you have
Very hard.
But forced. So bishop here keeps running, and then so you would find it without even. Hang on, not this. That doesn't work. Bishop at c6, and that's mate because this covers. So yeah. Okay. So a bit difficult. Okay, so that was a bit difficult. So how does game 2 going? But that means Variant Bunny's lost as white, which is, and now is playing the Dutch defense, which is creative for sure. Yeah, Oppa saying Crazyhouse very tough. Yeah, you need.
Very tough. Three bishops of defense.
Yep. Bishops are good defenders.
Hmm.
But at some point, black has to work out where his attack is coming. Can't defend all game. So maybe
Pawn f1. No.
so he's going pawn at e5.
No, but move.
So what else could he have done?
Yeah.
Pawn here, knight would come
Best
here.
move.
What else? I mean, he could just take. Oh, taking with the rook first was smart. Yeah, that way black. That's actually a really smart move. I didn't.
Take and bishop f6.
Yeah, but by taking with the rook, if you're taking bishop first, then the rook gets pinned with bishop e6
Oh,
exactly. So you take with the
I
rook
see.
first was really smart. Yeah, and wasn't thinking of that. And of course, knight at f4 taking g2 is a nice plan at some point. At h3, knight f4 is the move. So white will be stopping knight f4 probably because it's white's turn. How would they do that? I mean, the problem with rook g4 is, yeah, it's not so solid. So yeah, suddenly black's problems are sorted in a way. I can imagine at some point at d5 and then pushing, trying to through the center as another idea. Okay, so plugging away. So knight f4, wonderful, because it's both defending and attacking. And white has no pawn, so white's going to have to defend. Knight f4, he can't keep on attacking. He'll have to defend g2 with rook g1. And then what will black play? Probably bishop at g4, control. Bishop at g4, control, pin the knight and attack the pawn. So bishop at g4 next. There's no point going it fast. You don't really want to open up the g file. Now, what is this about? I don't understand. Okay, just trying to trap that piece, I guess. But I feel that's a wasted pawn, because the bishop could just back off to e2 or to f1.
Pawn c4. If bishop
I think bishop
back
h5
f1.
or bishop h5.
Ah.
Yeah, bishop f1 is a bit sad, but a bit sad. Okay, again black's choosing just to clear everything away. Bishop h5 is another choice, another option. I'm not sure what's better.
Yeah, exchange.
Oh, just going for it. Just going for it. I like it actually, because both the checking squares are open.
Bishop e7? No. Oh,
Just throw it. Check. Throw in the check.
Nice move. Queen.
He probably has to take back with the bishop though.
Pawn f2.
Yeah, so pawn takes pawn,
Oh,
bishop takes.
d2.
Oh, you think of d2. Oh.
Pawn on d2.
Yeah, that was another that was another option. But then just king. Then the king can just slide away. I don't know.
Oh.
So she's going real aggressive, just trying to go for mate basically, pretty much.
Ready for check.
So the threat here is knight at g3. knight at g3 and at f2 mate. So the point of the bishop, by the way, is to cut the king off from running. This doesn't stop it. This doesn't stop it. This does nothing to stop knight at g3, so this is mate. The whole point of the bishop was to cut off the king from going to c1, to cut off the king from going e1, d2, c1. Putting a pawn on d2 does not stop it. It's just mate. Yeah, pawn takes knight, knight takes in the final position. Pawn takes knight, knight takes, king e1, and pawn at f2,
Yes.
checkmate.
Please look.
So it's a trap, variant bunny set. And Artem just
1-1. Go.
1-1, exactly. 2 black wins. Oh, sorry, Morlock and Lukashak both say, was there not knight at e3 immediately? I'm just going to just open up the position. Knight at e3 immediately. Knight at e3. Okay. Knight at e3, and if you take it... so knight at e3 immediately, yes. Oh yeah, and you had a pawn to mate. My goodness, of course. You just knight at e3 and then at f2 was mate. There was no need for trickery. Yeah, absolutely. Nice one, Morlock and Lukashak. Thanks for pointing out there was a mate in 2 we both missed. So this game. So you give up a pawn. This is opening theory in a way. So black doesn't have a pawn for g2, so you're going to have time to put a pawn back on g2 yourself to fix everything.
Opening king.
Yeah, it's an open king, but it's not a concern. Because it's going to get fixed. Probably pawn at g3. Or bishop at g3, yeah, first. So it's... Oh, interesting. So, because...
Take oh.
I mean, so the thing is, if you take the queen, has he got pawn at g2 intermezzo? Takes. He's only got 1 knight in hand, so it can't be anything. And the check squares are covered.
She's not attack.
Yeah, so you can take the queen, I think. You can take the queen and throw in a check. And black would have to waste a knight on it, on either move the knight back or put a knight on c6 to defend. Otherwise, there'd be a fork. So I think she's probably got this, and then put a pawn on g2. And the smother mate is covered, so it seems like everything should be fine. Unless I'm missing something. But
she can back on d2?
Yeah, on g2.
Oh, no.
g2 super safe. No smothered mate because the bishop covers.
Pawn g2?
Yeah, pawn g2. I was thinking she might throw a check in first and then pawn g2, but Blunderman says, who is the other voice? It's Zaraza.
Sorry, my bad English.
From St. Petersburg, is it? Is it St. Petersburg or Moscow?
Yeah.
So Artem is in the tank. What to do?
Artem-NBO, this is a Russian name, Artem.
All right, yeah, that's true. I have a student called Artyom as well. And his surname is like Baryshnikov, so I guess that is Russian.
Pawn e2.
I guess she had to give a
rook or rook take pawn.
So what I wonder is why not take? So takes. Was that really so bad? I guess it might have been, but
he can
Okay, so-
take pawn
so-
f3.
There's also queen here, check, pick up the knight for free. That was still here. Queen a4 takes knight, check, take the knight. And there was no knight, or the knight would have to back off, basically. But then you get some tempo.
Yes. Take knight.
Because now the knight's going to be causing me more trouble.
How our games me and you
Yeah.
yesterday.
So those ones, yeah. If I was able to attack along these diagonals like h7, h6, then I'm quite happy sacking pieces to attack. But when you defended, then
Knight h5. Oh.
Okay, so here there's a simple move. A fork. You threaten mate and you hit the knight. So you pick up a free piece. Okay, you have to. Oh, there's no bishop. Sorry, I'm just being. Okay, so. Okay, I'm being silly. There's no bishop. Well, queen here is still decent though, because then you're threatening this and this. But okay,
Don't don't have his bishop.
yeah, we don't have a bishop. I'm just being and Artem has like what
Knight on
1 second
h5.
left.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to see just the usual pawn at e7 and harassment on the back rank. Or we could just see mate actually. Knight h6, knight f6 is mate here. Because whenever you see two knights, a queen, and a pawn, h6 and f7 is not covered, g8 is not covered, g7 is not covered. This is a classic mate. Knight f6, pawn g7. So there's two knights, first h6, then f6. This is a classic mate, and it's all over. So yeah, she spotted it. And PKR spotted the attack method. So Variant Bunny, good on the tactics. So Blunderman 1, you said, OK admitted he prepped her against me. I played Zaraza after her Play GM match, a series, in which I won the first 5 games, but then she won the next 2. So it was just like a friendly little series on her stream. But are you play GM, Blunderman 1?
No, he's say what variantbunny last year. Last year.
Oh, I haven't prepped Variant. I haven't prepped anyone. No, I don't think I prepped anyone. Maybe I haven't read something properly.
I played in CWC first year.
Oh, last year. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I didn't wittingly prep anyone against anyone, but I might have unwittingly done so.
Bishop take. And pawn e6.
Yeah, she might have had a series with me because I played d4, and I think that's what Blunderman means. Because Blunderman's a d4 player, and she might have played a series with me as like a warm-up. So yeah, I might have been an unwitting preparation against Blunderman 1. So sorry about that, Blunderman. It was not an intentional. It was not an intentional prep against you. Blunderman says, "I always remember my enemies." Ha ha ha. Okay, so
Nice move, h4.
Knight at h4. Yeah, so it's undermining the defender. So you want to take, and then take.
Double attack.
Yeah, and also, yeah, that's true. So maybe that doesn't work because of this. Yeah, but Variant Bunny's strength is her tactics, definitely, and it was her tactics, and now it's also her openings. Okay, we're going to see. What are we going to? That's a good defense. What to do? What to do? So he takes the bishop.
I don't have any material left.
So we're going to see something along this diagonal, like bishop at d5.
Bishops are free. Check.
So you're saying we might get a bishop at c3? Yep, that's true. Bishop c3 is possible. Bishop at c3 was a good intermezzo. Even if you don't grab the rook, it was quite a good idea putting the bishop there, because it would have forced white to use up a knight or go king f1. So you should have gone bishop c3 first, actually, before doing at f7 or bishop f7. And I think bishop f7 may be better. I don't know. I feel like you want a more dynamic defense of your king. Because now knight takes g7 looks annoying, potentially. So bishop takes knight, and knight, maybe, hang on, let me see. Bishop takes knight, and knight takes g7. Is that anything? Maybe not. Maybe just grabs the pawn. Okay, well bishop c3 is always hanging there. But now he has a pawn to block on d2. Okay, black is very happy to get rid of that knight, but unfortunately the knight's coming back.
Free. Ah, no.
He's just going to put the knight back on f5, guaranteed. Knight at f5, then at h6, pawn at h6. Okay, he doesn't. It's like he had a choice, like, do I attack or do I go for material? And he went for material, basically. This is a mistake, because bishop at c3 here again. So it's not a mistake. I don't mean it's a mistake. I mean, yeah, you got queen takes pawn, bishop c3, all kinds of moves here. Yeah, queen takes pawn here is very strong, because it'll block the defense of the bishop if you block it. So queen, they're sort of idea. Maybe it's dangerous, but queen takes pawn, bishop at d2, rook takes bishop, bishop takes queen, rook takes queen. It's kind of interesting. Okay, you just take it. Take all the material.
Nice. Nice idea.
Okay, she didn't.
Take knight f5. Ow.
Yeah, so I think she didn't want that queen trade.
Bishop.
She was afraid of the bishop at f3, c3 staring down at her king, I think. So a lot of knights, but maybe she's okay.
Won't take bishop.
Yeah, this is... feels a bit scary, but yeah.
Bishop.
I'd just rip off that knight. Just rip it off.
Need pawn b2.
No. Just rip that knight off.
Knight c3.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, these are fine, but I'd say first just rip this knight off the board. It's far too dangerous. Yeah, give up your queen for this knight, because this knight is trouble. Oh, Variant Bunny's thinking alike. Yeah, exactly. Just build a fortress. This is uncomfortable. Still uncomfortable. Queen at e7, by the way, was also uncomfortable. Yeah, see, the back rank is too weak. Ah, this is actually bad. Yeah, black's in trouble
I
here.
don't like it.
Yeah, no, something's gone wrong. You just simple play, very simple. But less than 10 seconds. It doesn't take long to play this as white either. Ah, black would love a draw. Don't take that knight.
You take.
Don't take that knight. Never take the
No.
knight near the king. The knight near the king is your friend. Unless the knight near the king is threatening something. Just, yeah, drop on g7 now, let him take, and then take the queen. So, oh, time out. That's sad. Okay. So Artem takes the game, and it's 2 games all.
G7.
2 games all.
Oh, time.
Oh, to be fair, it was lost. So something went wrong. Was ripping the knight off a bad idea after all? Hi there, Train Flipper, aka Legion Destroyer.
Hello, Trend Flipper.
They seem to be taking a little bit of a break, but maybe Queen takes knight wasn't good. I think it was good, but let's just have a look at the engine. So yeah, black is doing completely fine, and my instinct of ripping off the knight. Okay, so it's not the best, but it's not the worst, but the follow-up is important. You need to attack. Bishop at a3, bishop e7 to defend. Maybe defend? Knight at e7? Yeah. You need to defend e7. That's what the common thread is. Bishop at a3 defends e7. You can't let your back rank get so weak. Knight at h4. You could attack with knight at h4. Knight at e7 defending. So bishop takes pawn was never a threat. Bishop takes h7 here was never a threat because the knight check on g5 was covered. And maybe there were better moves than ripping off the knight. I like ripping off the knight, but maybe there were better moves. Like bishop at a3. Like king h8 apparently. At c3. Yeah, at c3 I think you suggested. At c3. Then if he goes at h6. Yes, it's very difficult. It's a very double-edged. Okay, I think they're about to start again. Yeah, they're just starting. So 2 games all. They've had a little bit of a break. Legion Destroyer says, Variant Bunny is checking out the game. That's not allowed, right? No, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to check previous openings. Sometimes the game gets analyzed automatically, so we need to make a new rule, actually. I was just saying, can't remember where I was saying it, maybe in the Lichess Discord, that players shouldn't be allowed to be in analysis board. And I've seen sometimes players break that rule, but yeah, players are not allowed to be in an analysis board in the middle of a match. I mean, if someone wants to send, I mean, I've seen even top players sometimes break that rule in the past, but before there was a proper rule. But I'm saying this needs to be made a proper rule in future. Oh, so regardless of whether they requested analysis or not, it needs to be a rule that, because the old rule is no one should request analysis, but the new rule should be no one should be in analysis board. No player should be in analysis board. Only spectators. So yeah, if someone can just drop a message saying, but yeah, I don't know.
She thinks for a long time. 1 minute.
Yep. So just backing up. How has this opening gone? It's been e4 d4.
Pawn g3. Ah no.
So it's slight.
G7.
So notice a slight difference. Last time it was pawn here, queen takes knight, pawn takes knight. So here black has actually mixed up the opening a little bit and gone for knight at e4. So it's a slight change. So there's been a slight change in the opening. and it was Artem who mixed up the opening. Yes, so that's the Legion Destroyer. That's what I'm saying. The new rule should be: you're not allowed you're not allowed, for example, to see how you blundered, even like at the end of a previous game, while a series is continuing, while a match is in progress. Because the old
bishop take.
oh sorry, the old rule of no one's allowed to request analysis has become defunct because Lichess is just requesting analysis sometimes for everyone. Yeah, so they should not be an analysis board, regardless of whether they requested or not. Exactly. Yeah. So you're not allowed to even look at the games without analysis. So blocks, you're blocking off this file, losing. Okay, so losing the pawn. Okay, so kind of scary. Knight. Okay, this is just all over. Game over. Knight at f3. You lose the queen. You have a lot of hanging knights, but probably you can save them by just swinging over. So knight at f3 looks like game over here.
Yeah. Be a fork.
Yeah, so if anyone sees a player, then just write in the Lichess chat, please. Players are not allowed in analysis board during matches. If a player ever sees someone in analysis board, if they could just post that message, because it was a rule change in the past.
Doesn't see it. Oh.
No, yeah, there's a yeah.
Nice move.
Yep, it took a long time though. I mean, it took a long time and it was clear. This doesn't really help because you just take and replace. So you have to try and think every time you exchange, is that help? Is it helping or not helping? But yeah. Yeah, pawn f3, pawn h3 again. Takes again. You just
Pawn free.
yeah, it's out of pawns, but same idea.
And knight h4. Great move.
So here, yes, the problem here is white can take a knight, can take any knight. So sorry, I'm confusing myself. I was trying to think how white could try and force the knights away from the king somehow, but it doesn't really work. So I mean, just wants this, and queen h2. What is going on?
She can give a bishop.
The bishop's very important because the bishop's the defender of h2. So this is a problem. Yeah, just knight takes bishop comes.
They are all the problem.
Actually, no, hang on. I'm not. That doesn't really work. Oh yes, it does. Rook takes pawn, check. King takes. Oh no, the knight covers. What do I? So I thought there was something here, but I can't see it. So what? Yeah, for.variantbunny doing a good job of defending.
Rook check pawn.
Could do. I'm just confused here. Train Flipper says rook takes g7 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Look, so black is the one attacking here. So why is...
She's a very neat rook.
I just don't understand why... Why is black not taking the bishop? I'm so confused. Well, this has to be mate.
Bishop f5.
Well, yeah, I mean everything has to.
One of the.
Everything has to be mate here.
On Jeffrey. Take.
So where's those bishops are covering a lot, but surely there's a finish.
On f3.
The king is getting away.
2.
There's nothing left. What?
Rook take. Oh, knight.
There's nothing left. This is unbelievable.
Time.
There's nothing left.
Bishop c3.
Oh my goodness. That was almost... Hang on. White was almost safe, and then...
She's
Okay.
well done.
Okay. White wins now. Exactly. White's like, now it's my turn. Well. What?
G7.
Oh my goodness. She suddenly has to defend.
Oh.
Oh my
D5.
goodness. She loses this now. It's mate.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. Oh my god.
No. Oh, that was sad. Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to have to look at the analysis board there. Look, so how do you mate in this position? So dumping the rook on, correct. Very good. This, good. Then what? You don't want to put a bishop there.
She need more think.
No. You just put a knight here. If the king ever steps back, rook is checkmate. If the king steps forwards, well, you have diagonals. You just even can mate with pawns at this point. It's like a pawn
Need
here.
Knight d5.
You have a queen even. Yeah. It's just there's nothing. Everything mates, but you have to use a knight. So what move is knight d6? Move 57.
And f4.
57 for white. Knight d6. Oh, so this position here. I'm gonna just sneak a peek at the engine. Knight at d6. I'm queen at e7. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, I did not see that at all. Okay, this is what Opera and Legion Destroyer were going on about. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's some next level mating technique. I was like, oh my goodness, we've messed up. But yeah, this is very nice. And then
she blocked
block, and then queen there mate. So are you looking at the current game then?
Variants.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so in these positions, obviously you've got to be careful about g6. Don't want to walk into the forks. But you also got to be careful about g7. So, oh, my Artem-NBO, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. No, this
D5?
is like this is beginner tactics.
Maybe on b6. Oh, but
Oppa says f takes g6, still okay maybe. And Blunderman, it's just a queen.
g7. No.
Oh, you were saying bishop g7 earlier, I think. Well, no.
Pawn of 6.
Oppa says still black is better now. Since knight f3? I'm not understanding. So Blunderman 1 says, I think it was a sack, not a blunder. So what f takes g6 was forced. Oh yeah, so this is a very nice tactic, by the way. If you take h takes g6, there's queen at h6 check, and the pawn is pinned. And you can block, and then queen takes g7 is mate. So it's a very pretty little tactic there. So you have to go f takes g6. And now, okay, we've got a lot of material to attack with. White only has queens. So you're thinking throwing some long checks. You could throw some long checks like bishop b5 check, and then knight e2. Okay, so lots of ideas which I hadn't seen. Yeah, throwing in some long checks. Let's go. And Legion Destroyer says, yeah, queen h6 instead of queen
Variant
d6.
Bunny writing. Variant Bunny writing in chat. I'm so tired today.
Yeah, it's actually, she's playing fine anyway, because queen takes bishop, there's knight at d2, picking up the queen, so it's a nice move. But knight takes bishop. What's going on? Knight takes bishop, simply. And now white has a blocker, so this bishop check is not so threatening. Pawn takes bishop? No. Okay, this is game over now. This is game over. Yeah, a g2, knight h4, all the usual stuff. What's going on here? If only we'd had a pawn, then it'd be even better.
Then pawn e4.
Okay, if you go here, knight here is checkmate.
Pawn g2.
King here. Okay.
Pawn g2, knight h4.
Okay, we don't have a pawn, but
Bishop. Yeah. E2. Pawn g4? No.
maybe something like that. How do you defend this pawn on f3? And Offa says knight takes f3 missed maybe. Yeah, knight takes f3. Oh, that's a nice idea because you take, and then bishop here picks up the queen. Or probably even leads to mate. So yeah, knight takes f3, my goodness. Okay, knight takes f3 comes now. And the king's going to try and run, I guess. It doesn't quite, I'm not sure if it works. But the king's going to try and run.
Run to d2?
Yeah, run to b1. He's going to try to run to b1, near the rook. Here he goes. King c1. Pawn at d2, king b1. And then it gets mated with something. With like knight at a3 or something.
Take.
Pawn at a3. Pawn at a3 here. Pawn at a3 here. Pawn a3 is fun in this position. Just going for the mates. Pepsi Gaming, she got this. She's got mate, exactly. She's seen the mate. She's got this, and she levels the match at 3 games all. So we have a match on. Rematch offer sent. Just going to check no one's in analysis. Good.
Wow. 3-3.
3-3. Okay, we're seeing a repetition of this opening where white willingly gives up a pawn just to get a solid king. because notice white's castled, white's developed, but white is a pawn down. And again, black is switching up the opening yet again. This is a mistake. Something's a mistake here. What's a mistake?
Déjà vu. Next play.
Yeah, similar. But hang on, something's wrong. Because pawn at e4 looks so powerful. What was wrong? Maybe is queen e1 correct even? I thought queen d3. Isn't queen d3 normal here? Maybe someone can tell me in the chat. Yeah, Bleedenstroyer says, what do you think of this queen e1, by the way, Oppa? Yeah, I don't think queen e1 is the line. I think the line is queen d3, at e4, queen takes knight, queen takes pawn. That's, I think, the book. Oh, that can't be right then, because then you get knight takes pawn.
Bishop a4.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. Sorry, but this looks bad for white somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so queen d3 doesn't seem to work either. So I'm not quite sure what it was.
Knight c3.
Yeah, knight c3 is annoying.
Bishop take.
Yeah, the bishop will take knight
f3.
for sure. And so do we take the bishop or the knight? I think we take the bishop, because the bishop's threatening our king. And notice black has no diagonal pieces, so yeah, so notice if black had just had one pawn, then pawn at h3 is suddenly really threatening. So there might even be a sack. Takes, knight, you could even just sack, and it's not quite enough. But yeah, black really wants pawns for h3 and g2. That's a mate threat, so we have to take it.
Why closing queen?
Because queen g2 was mate.
Free bishop on diagonal.
So takes, and again.
On g2. Knight h5. Pawn f6.
Yeah, you're risking opening up ideas on your own king. So we're not quite ready yet. But now even knight f6 is lethal, because if you ever take, if rook takes g8, so yeah, now knight f6 is a massive threat. Hard to defend. And bishop at f6 is also annoying, followed by knight takes g7. Yeah, Oppa says queen e1 helps black. Yeah, which is...
Opper writing bg5 and theory is good for white.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some queen sack line. I'm not sure. Okay, this is good for white. White's managed to come back from any opening mistakes. I'm doing well here.
Take pawn and pawn on f6.
Yep. Now we're going to see this. Pawn takes rook, bishop at f6. Very simple.
Queen f8.
Then it'll be at g7. You know, it'll be very simple. Very simple. Free queen. Just take it.
Take and
Okay, maybe
bishop on f6.
wait, maybe one moment to defend, unless we see a mate.
Oh.
And she's seen a mate, so nice. Queen here and pawn here, mate. Okay, taken. 4 games to 3.
Oh, nice. Why not? Easy mate.
Variant Bunny going for the Dutch again.
Oh. 5.
Stonewall Dutch. The real weakness with the Dutch.
This is new.
Yeah, I can show you what the weakness is in the Dutch. I was telling in the stream earlier today.
This is creative.
I mean, chess players love to play the Dutch, and so sometimes if you're playing a chessy player, they'll play the Dutch against you. But I was saying the way to play against the Dutch is you put your bishop on d3.
Games?
I was talking about this earlier on the stream earlier today. You put your bishop on d3 and you try and put pressure on these 2 squares. So you have ideas like knight takes d5 and then bishop takes f5, these sorts of ideas. Or even
Black castle?
if black puts his bishop on d6, there are even ideas of just sacking a pawn and putting a pawn on e5, forking the knight and bishop.
Maybe need a knight on e4? Change?
Exactly. So black hasn't really benefited from the exchange. But
Again?
oh, the knight's happy there. The knight's better than the bishop, so you keep the knight. So the question is, how do you make progress? Just have to slowly develop. Bring your rooks to the center. What white wants is a pawn for h6. So just thinking at some point, nice to get a pawn sometime and stick it on h6. And Train Flipper says this knight on e5 is worth a queen right now. Yeah, it's a gorgeous piece, obviously. You want to get in on h6 and g6 when you can, though. Yeah. So this is I even like this f3. Just point is simply let me get a pawn. Give me a pawn. Let me get at him or at her, because it's Variant Bunny playing the Dutch. So what should Variant Bunny do? Okay, solid. But still takes and at h6 ideas will be lurking. So he's going to have to go something like queen e8 to solidify. And queen e8 does seem solid enough. Cross Online says bishop h5. Bishop h5. Yeah, that
It's clear cast. Oi, oi, oi.
same issue. So what we didn't see queen e8. We saw instead takes. Oh, I don't like that so much because black had a.
Maybe take a pawn. Yeah, and pawn on f7.
Yeah, but black did have a nice open rook file to work with, and now doesn't. So.
This move.
Oh, this yeah.
Close file.
So the problem with this is knight takes is bishop takes bishop, and then knight takes bishop. Yeah, bishop takes bishop, then knight takes bishop. Something's wrong about this for black. I think you should take off the bishop here, and then white wants to get
On h7, take knight g6.
We haven't got enough to take twice.
Don't open in file if.
No, Zaraza, you're not watching the stream. You're watching on Lichess, aren't you, Zaraza?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Because people are asking in the Twitch chat. Yeah, to make sure you're watching it on Lichess, not on the stream. Yeah. So, what is going on? Why is white offering this bishop here? I don't understand it. Because you see, this knight on h5 was actually a useless piece. Black seems to have consolidated. Yeah, bishops are useful, so bishop h6 at some point would be interesting. Okay, now not anymore, because obviously this knight stops it, but are we going to see... Okay, so this is nice. Defends the bishop, but also attacks. So takes... Okay, we got the rook file open again, that's nice as well. Okay, now we got some ideas. Yeah, we got some ideas now, we got some ideas happening. See, there are all these holes opening up in the white position. Yep. And knight g5. Yeah, knight g5. Knight g5 takes on e4.
Yes, Blunderman. We need on h5.
Oh yeah, black's got lots of ideas here. So many ideas. Just keep on ripping off pieces. Actually, maybe not, because that pawn will be annoying. But
Takes pawn.
Yeah, what do we do here? Because white wants to take twice on g6. So we could just rip that off, or we could do something else.
Interesting position.
Well, if you're black, it's interesting. If you're white, it's not that fun.
Black and white.
6 pawns on the same file. Yeah, they're hoping, can we get the G file full of pawns? Yeah, it's actually a good move. Yeah, pawn at, come on, go for it. Pawn at G5, let's go. Ah, it wasn't played. The treble pawns, double trebled pawns. Ah, okay. Didn't happen.
On g5?
Well,
no.
Not now, yeah. We could go bishop at G6 if you really want to. Bishop at G6, so if bishop takes queen, bishop takes queen.
Knight.
What is going on now? What is going on? What is going on?
No.
I'd have thought rook h1. Oh, but there's just a smother. It's just it's a basic smother. It's a basic smother. I wonder if there was rook h1 though, but probably not. A rook h1.
Fuck. Oh.
Yeah, opposites rook h1. Maybe. Look, so not rook at g2. What you do in this position is rook h1, and the king has no choice but to take. Then you go pawn here, check. But of course, yeah, there's nothing here. If the queen takes, there's something, but king can just go here, and there's nothing. But there was something at some point. I mean, so just even at this point here, without sacking the queen, just bishop at b6. Sorry, I'm so bad at notation, but bishop at b6 was fine. It was the move I mentioned. But apparently f takes, just going straight in, was also good. Because rook at h1 here is checkmating. King takes g2, bishop at f3. And you win the queen with check. Okay, so interesting. We have a tight match at 4-4, and we have a repeat of this line
4-4.
that we got in the very first game with the pawn at e5 idea, except instead of taking the knight, this Artem is really making life interesting. He's playing a different opening every game. He's now taking the bishop. He's trying out every single move in this one position.
Deja vu again.
This kind of position, yeah. It's good, isn't it? Because bishop takes knight, queen takes, knight takes d4. So black is good.
Need a new mode trying. I think.
Yeah, this is correct from variant bunny. Just give up the queen here. Hi there, Yaswine. Who's on with me? Zaraza is on with me. Famous Crazyhouse player from Russia. And I keep saying I'm going to put up your blog, and I still haven't done that yet. So Zaraza will be the next blog on the Crazyhouse website.
Ah, yes, fine. How are you? They need takes queen and bishop takes queen.
Yeah, it's the decision. Do you want the queen trade or not? Yeah. Do you have any choice now? It's the other thing. Also, how do you want it? You could take the queen and have him take your queen on d8, or you could go take the bishop and then take the queen. So you have to analyze which one's better. So taking the bishop means your opponent will get to move first. And will have two knights lurking in your half of the board. So that looks quite scary, actually. So probably takes queen first, and then try and defend. Like bishop takes queen, king takes, and pretend you're safe. Maybe.
No, best move bishop take d3.
Bishop takes d3. Yep, and then after bishop takes queen, then maybe king takes, or maybe bishop takes rook. I'm not sure.
Oh.
This doesn't look so good. This looks very bad, actually. This looks incredibly bad. You can even go king h1. There's no smother because the knight covers g1. So there's no smother threat. There is though knight takes bishop, which is.
Oh my god.
But if you go pawn takes knight, rook takes bishop, I guess.
Leg press.
Knight takes rook. But then just queen takes pawn. Oh, queen takes pawn straight. Oh, queen takes f6, as Legion Destroyer said, yeah. Somehow this didn't quite work out. And the point is we want to do this. If we can do this, we're fine. Can we? Maybe we can. Why can't we? Oh, rook takes pawn is going to be a problem, is it? Rook takes pawn, king here. Well, where's the mate?
Maybe
rook
bishop,
here, check.
Maybe bishop on h5. Check.
No, there's gonna. It's black to move. So it's rook takes g2. Oh my goodness. How is this possible? And Artem flags? I mean, this is not how the game is supposed to be played.
Bishop take rook.
No, come on, this is okay. I mean, if they look at the analysis after, this is going to swing so wildly.
Oh.
Okay, so this is interesting. So rook takes g2, but apparently rook takes
She was
g2.
happy.
It didn't work. Okay, this is amazing. It just didn't work. Rook takes f2. Oh, I see. There's queen takes bishop even. Yeah, so black is actually busted. Oh my goodness. So black is busted. Black is busted the whole way.
Rook take.
Yeah, okay, so black is just busted. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so variantbunny takes 5-4 lead, and so this is to win it. And no more Dutch. She's serious. She plays the London system. It's a solid opening. But hang on, something went wrong. Her knight got attacked.
Oh, London.
So you see, okay, this is a mistake. So after knight c3, you should happily trade that knight and drop the knight on b2, hitting the queen and bishop. Then hit the bishop, takes, and keep on going, keep on trading. There was no reason for leaving the knight hanging.
My favorite opening.
On e4. Okay, so this is just too aggressive from variantbunny. It's not sound. Okay, pawn at f3 is possible, because obviously you want to defend the pawn on g4. The real Gneja says panicking, but there was nothing for black. Yeah, I thought there was definitely something. Okay, yeah, notice, Zaraza, the way to defend the pawn on g4 is to put the pawn on f3. Nice one, right?
Yeah. Nice move.
So the queen's got eyes in this direction, but is also threatening this direction. But bishop f3, bishop c3 will be simple.
Knight. White need rook. Query.
So
Hard for black.
yeah, but I didn't understand white's last move entirely.
Little materials.
But yeah, white's not doing the best job though. Like bishop c3 looked sound, and now now this is looking difficult.
Bishop or rook.
So I just sent you a message, Zaraza, but it might be a bit too late once this match is over for you.
I see.
So if it's too late, that's completely fine. So what going in? Okay, so can we afford to go queen takes rook, or are we in too much danger? So we don't see queen takes rook, but we see pawn takes bishop. A lot of squares open. There's bishop h7, knight g5 ideas. So now he's attacking on the dark squares and on the light squares. Does bishop takes f6, takes, queen takes, if you want to. Avril says e5 was not a very good move. So what was the idea of e5? I guess the point of e5 was cutting the queen off, but don't know. So here, yeah, this is going to be painful. White's got too many pieces. Grabs the rook. Yeah, that's true. There's a nice rook hanging there. I know, we forgot about that. It was hanging for so long. Yeah.
Queen takes a rook.
Yeah. So Train Turf is saying, White desperately trying to find losing moves, but to his dismay, none of them do. The real Gnader says he might have found one. He seems to find them. Yeah, so the queen is actually doing a great job defending. You're right. So, and there could be some back rank ideas. If only we had a bishop. If only we had a bishop. We can't take this bishop because pawn here is checkmate. Oh, if only we had a bishop. Okay, but my idea with the bishop was stuff to do with like bishop at a1, bishop at f1 and stuff. So this doesn't really work. Okay, so white doesn't really have that much left. Only like pawn and queen. Katas looks good for white. Okay, not anymore. Queen takes and then g3. Okay.
Maybe need to take knight. G3.
There's knight h4 hanging. Knight h4, even just now. Knight h4, pick up a queen. So many pieces. And we're not mated, so... Okay. So can we pick up a queen? I think we can pick up the queen, and then there should be a mate somewhere. So we do something like... Okay, so where's the mate, though? Okay, we can just take that twice, surely. Oh, we've only got once. Yeah, but just take it once then. Takes, king here. Or just don't queen. Even take... Oh, king takes bishop. Oh, that's risky. Knight takes rook. Rook takes. Now he's got a rook. Okay, but a rook's not useful. 9 seconds left. Oh, you can go block with the knight, threatening... Block with the knight, threatening rook at h...
Oh, nice.
Rook at h5, maybe. Okay, you do another knight check, pick up the next queen. Okay, this is just... Variant Bunny's got this. Yeah, Variant Bunny's got this now. Variant Bunny's definitely got this now, right? Like, this has been a crazy series, but there are too many hanging pieces. You could even just take this knight. Okay. Okay, there are too many pieces up to lose this now, surely. 10 seconds left. Pressure. Oh my goodness, just going for the greed. I like it. I mean, I think it's good enough, so it's going to be good. What a comeback this game, says Train Flipper. Yeah, a lot of pieces. Oh, you didn't have to take it. Yeah, taking was unnecessary. Oh. Run. Run for your life. Block and run. Those are the two things one should always do. Block and run.
Oops.
Yeah, yeah. This is what, yeah. Yep. Oops. Panic time. Come on, you still got it. 5 seconds left. Bishop. 3 seconds left. 3 seconds left. You can do it.
Knight if you won.
That doesn't work. Something else. Take the queen. Oh no, you're hanging your queen. White is winning this. This is bad. Rook takes knight. Queen takes queen. Queen takes queen is coming. Block. But queen takes queen is coming, it's the problem. This is not the problem. The problem is queen takes queen is coming. This is not the problem. The problem is the queen is hanging. That's the problem. And he's seen it. She's seen it. He's seen it, rather. And I don't see anything. Yeah, that's it. So what were you saying, Legion, about the comeback? Blunderman approves this game. Hi there, Julian Proleco. Yeah, long time. And Katask is crying. Yeah, slight shortage of pieces for whites is real gonna just. Yeah, that was a terrible one to lose. Oh my
5.
goodness, that's gonna hurt. Variant Bunny, I want to cry. That's gonna hurt. Ah, that's really gonna hurt. I mean, it's entertaining for us because we're not living through it.
What the fuck was it?
Exactly. It's anything. But even after here, just
Poor bunny.
exactly. You can sack both queens, but you're still winning. White has look how many
She's
pieces.
writing, I wanna cry.
Look how many pieces White has on the board. White has 2 pieces on the board, a knight and a bishop. You have a whole board you can lay on. You can literally just sack everything.
She's very nervous.
Yeah.
Need maybe knight e1?
Just
On.
something like knight here, check. And if he tries to run away this way, you get a back ranker. And if he tries to run this way, you just take the queen. And this square is covered, but still, it's still I can't see it. That's the problem. But there is somewhere a mate, very easy mate somewhere here. Maybe knight here to try and deflect this knight a little bit, and then get queen here. And if queen here, then queen here is checkmate. Okay, but something like this. Anyway, sorry, I missed the comments. So we're going to get this again.
Major.
Takes.
No, that queen takes knight.
Yeah.
Queen king. 5/5.
So when Train Flipper says
also need to match. Déjà vu.
Master Tan style, Train Flipper says. Got. But he doesn't have the pawn for g2, but he's still, yeah. Okay, so what do we do here? I think a nice idea here for White is pawn at h3 or knight at h4.
G2?
He's got his pawn on g2 already. So a nice idea for White is pawn at h6 or knight at h5.
Queen take knight.
Yeah, you seem to be on delay because queen takes knight already happened. Got to win it for confidence rather than. Okay, this is a problem. This is a smothered mate. Ouch.
Really?
That's gonna hurt. Because suddenly White has to defend a smothered mate and has a piece hanging. Throws in a check. Oh, that is a nice idea. But just king takes knight? Just king takes knight, though.
Just taking a risk.
Just take the knight, and what's the problem?
Okay.
Okay, there is a problem. Yeah, bishop f6. Yeah, bishop f6 is a problem. Yeah, bishop f6 is a problem because you can't step back because of knight at h6. Okay, so this is interesting. So that's actually a mistake, I think. Yeah. I think she might. Yeah, hang on, this might be interesting. Okay, so this forced king to g6. Yeah. Now, is there a mate with a pawn and a knight? Probably not, actually. Just saying you don't have a pawn. Interesting. But now, oh dear. Now black has a pawn. Black has a bishop.
Why?
Now black has diagonal. So that's a problem. And resigns. Variant Bunny is. You have to understand, like, Variant Bunny must be really tired right now.
Pawn.
Oof.
Oh,
So Artem goes ahead in the tiebreak. Yeah, Morlock said it was a bad pre-move. True.
bad pre-move, yeah.
The recapture.
London system. Again.
Yep. So notice there's a very nice... No, there isn't. Sorry, I thought I saw something for a second. I was thinking... See, if black had gone bishop d6... If black had gone bishop d6, there's a very nice idea. White could take on d5, takes d5, and then bishop g7. Anyway, I'm not sure if that's a good idea, because then rook g8. But anyway, it was an idea. Maybe it's not a good idea. So Cross Online says I should explain the tiebreak rules to my audience, so that's true. At 5, I assume you're all seasoned Crazyhouse veterans, so what I'm saying you all know already. But at 5-5, it's just 2 more games to decide who wins the match. So in this position, Artem needs a draw in the second tiebreak game. And if he loses, then it goes 6-6, and it's a tiebreak again. And Guga's citing Eminem lyrics. It's funny how Eminem is coming back. Because he was big 20 years ago. And it's funny because I never liked Eminem or any of the rappers in the past, but like nowadays I kind of, it's not that I like them, but I kind of quite appreciate that, hey, they were actually doing poetry in a way, like in their own way, which I never really appreciated when I was a teenager myself. Guga, she's nervous, but on the surface she looks calm and ready. Yeah, the amazing thing about Eminem is he's rhyming within the lines, and I never really appreciated that as a teenager, and I kind of really appreciate that now. Okay, this is
Wait
painful.
for white.
This is painful. We don't want to lose a queen with check. Bishop takes knight now comes. Ouch. Yeah, I think Artem is awake and Variant Bunny is fading, unfortunately, in terms of energy. So bishop takes knight, pawn takes knight. It's forced. So bishop takes knight, pawn takes knight. Okay. But then maybe black does have ideas with knight takes bishop and pawn it. And the knight is useful because knight will be useful for like pawn here, knight here. Okay, so it's not the end of the world for Variant Bunny. We're going to see this line. Takes the knight. Queen takes knight. Ah, even better potentially. Very good. No, this is brilliant because the threat is knight takes e3 check and pawn at g2. And white doesn't have a bishop to guard this diagonal. So yeah, really Variant Bunny fighting back. This is interesting. Yeah, so knight takes e3 is a really big threat. I don't know what white does even. So knight takes e3, pawn at g2, and promote. Yeah, but Blunderman saw it. Well done, Blunderman. Queen takes knight. And Blunderman says, okay, asleep, Variant Bunny awake. Fair enough. Yeah, it's... So, seems like Artem missed it as well. He's going to have to just move the king. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, this is going to be bad news for him. This is just pretty much game over for him. What is going on? That's surely a pre-move. That's a slip. That's got to be a slip. No, it's not a slip. Okay, I understand.
Alright.
No, it's not a slip. It's not a slip. It's not a slip. It's not a slip. Just controlling. Very controlling. And going for knight at. It's kind of weird. Just trying to promote. Okay, so you need to control this square and this square. How do you do that? Because the threat is just promote. So that's fine, and the king goes here, but then what? Oh, the queen just comes in. And, so the king
Maybe
goes back, yeah.
bishop on f1.
Oh yeah, bishop f1 is another idea, that's true. Bishop f1, but the same problem of this diagonal. So you could take another knight, okay. Oh! No, that doesn't quite work, no. Okay, yeah, take a knight at d3, does that work? No, it doesn't, because then king goes to d2. I was just struggling to see the finish, because knight here doesn't work because the queen takes knight. If you go knight takes, of course, you've got takes with promotion. So...
Next knight check.
So it's just trying to defend against the promotion here. Yeah, and 7 seconds left. Difficult, difficult.
No.
Oh, that doesn't do anything. Just queen. Just get a queen. Yeah.
No, bishop. Right.
Okay, that's even better. Yeah. Okay. So bishop takes pawn is checkmate. Okay. Very nice. Oh, that's very nicely done. Wow, that was really nicely done. Queen takes c3. See, my chat is much stronger than I am. Queen takes c3, said Cross Online.
Oh. Bunny.
So Bunny comes back from the dead.
6-6. 4. Very strong game, yes.
Yeah, queen takes knight was such an important move.
I don't like its opening.
Yeah, something's gone wrong in this opening, for sure. Google says, is bishop at g5 the right move here? Yeah. So apparently the right move here, what people are saying, is just go here and give up your queen and take this queen. That kind of idea. Does that work? Something like that. I don't know. Oh, bishop at g5, not bishop to g5. Okay. Something like that, anyway. So, Variant Bunny is known to be a bit of an opening specialist, but clearly was a bit out of book in this line. Yeah, Blunderman1 saying, is this a legit opening for white? Yeah, I don't think so. I think the problem is Variant Bunny thinks it's theory, and so she's just played into it again, and it's not theory. It's a misremembered line. I mean, I'm sure this is just a misremembered line. I'm not quite sure why she's repeating it. Yeah, why is this happening again? I have no idea. There could be some nasty tricks, though. There could be some nasty tricks.
Knight?
So you've got to watch out for g2.
Or bishop on f6, maybe.
Yeah, but you have to always watch out for g2 first.
Oh no. It takes rook.
Yeah, so knight here makes sense. So he can do this, but he'll get pinned. And if he does this, he has no use of a knight. So knight g4, he hits it, fair enough.
Bishop on g3. Okay. Idea.
Ouch. That's going to hurt.
Yeah. Knight.
I mean, queen g2 is the last throw of the dice for black here. Queen g2, is there anything? I don't think there's anything. The bishop covers most of these checks.
I don't know.
I don't get it. I think the idea was queen g2 takes pawn check and hoping for something.
Need to take a queen. On queen.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. Ouch. That came with check. So that's it. That's game over. Queen at h5 is checkmate. Okay, it's not checkmate, but it will be soon.
Don't afraid.
Don't applaud just yet. The king is running. The king is running. The king is running. Okay. The end of the run has come. Okay, that's it. Yes, that's not
Queen
it.
f6.
Hang on a second.
Why? Why? Oh yes, mate.
Oh, so was that 6-6? Okay, so I missed the. Okay, I thought the Variant Bunny had won the match. It's still only 7-6. Okay, so so it was a must-win to get it to 6-6. Katask says his battery is dying on mobile.
In games already, more than I have.
Yeah. So when the king ran up, queen f6 was mate in 1, people are saying in chat. And hi there, Sleipnir1216. I'm with Zaraza from Russia, who's got her own Crazyhouse World Championship match tomorrow. Against who are you playing tomorrow? Is it Royal?
Tomorrow we'll play tomorrow.
Is it Royal Blue?
It's FIDE Master.
Yeah, FIDE Master Royal Blue. Yeah. So good luck with that one.
Will be very hard for me.
Yeah, good luck with it.
Good night.
Yeah, good defending and attacking and eyeing on f6.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that knight on h5 should just be left alone.
Attention.
Yeah, Sleipnir says as well, strong chess players are tough in Crazyhouse. Last CWC I got owned by 2 IMs, one after another to knock me out. And Blunderman won. Aren't Russians FMs by birth? Yeah, you can never you can never you can never count out a Russian. Like you played one upset already against a 2100 opponent. So Zaraza beat off Play GM, who's like 2100. So the idea here is to take, and bishop at e3. But white is having none of it and is solidifying f4. And also attacking g5, so that after takes, he can himself go in and take g7. So what does black do? f6? Sorry.
I had my first adult level in classical chess at the age of 20.
Oh, really?
Mm.
But did you do chess at school, or? Did you play chess? So you didn't play chess at school? Your school didn't have chess.
No, I don't like classical chess.
Okay.
I like the
But yeah. So did they teach you chess at school though, or not?
yes. I studied babies.
Yeah. So you learnt your pawn endgames at school. How to win king and pawn against the king, all that stuff.
I teach children this chess from zero.
Oh, really? Cool.
No weekends.
So Artem playing very solid, being hard to break down. And I was wanting f6, but f6 is a terrible move, obviously, because it weakens e6. So there'd all be all kinds of dangerous ideas if we ever pushed f6. So maybe you want to drop a pawn at f6 at some point, but you don't want to push f6. Sleipnir says, I haven't learned my pawn endgames and I'm 2100 blitz. Yeah. Sleipnir says, f6 looks scary after pawn e6. Yeah, it was a mistake. Yeah. I just realized later. So how are we going to break through? Because you see, taking is a mistake. Taking just allows white to keep on advancing. Oh. I want to take this bishop.
Next night.
Yeah, takes the knight.
Yeah. Maybe, yes, and bishop c3.
Yeah, bishop c3.
Not.
Tricky position.
Yeah.
And someone in the Twitch chat, Sleipnir, says, I like pawn at g4 more than h3. Yeah, maybe be a bit more patient, pawn g4. Because this...
Bishop on g4.
Yeah, something. I mean... But pawn at h3 was played, and now white's actually so solid. How do you break this? That's a neat idea. That's a really neat idea. This is actually neat. Queen takes rook. Queen takes rook is even an idea. But yeah, this is interesting. Just battering through. So, and the other queen could come in as well. You have to take it. Oh, that was checkmate.
This is terrible.
No, black's fine here. Black is fine. Black is fine. Queen takes bishop.
Fine.
Oh, yeah, queen takes bishop. That one. Oops.
Yeah.
But surely there was a better defense.
Take bishop.
Yeah.
Take.
So slight delay, but it takes.
Oh. Wow. Congress.
So the right
Finally.
move was Queen G1, King takes, Knight E2, King F2.
She got it.
She got it. King takes, Rook, and pawn here. So that would have been much harder to see. And meanwhile here, yeah, there's nothing. So Rook at D1, that's correct. But okay, that was just a mistake. And I was just thinking stupid things like this, and bringing my own queen in, and some kind of block here, and then I wasn't sure. Okay, so bishop here, check, block. Pawn here will do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying I imagine it's definitely.
No,
Yeah.
no. Queen on f1. Yeah, and pawn or bishop g2. Yeah.
Yes,
Knight.
exactly. Yes. Yeah. Now I imagine it's definitely too late for you, but if you are interested, I can look at some games from your last round match if you want to, Zaraza. So at the link I sent you. But if you're not interested, it's too late. That's also
Yeah.
fine. So, is it too late, or you would like to have a look? So are you in the you're in the study? And I'll just make sure that. So yeah, congratulations to for.variantbunny for taking that in a very exciting tiebreak. So I'm going to do some instructive Crazyhouse now. So Zaraza, are you up for continuing with this, or is it because it is very late where you are? But if you're up for continuing, then we will go. So if you click the link I sent,
Okay.
if you click the link I sent you on the Discord, so you can move the pieces. Let's make sure it's all syncing. Yeah, enable sync. So can you move the pieces? Do you want to check? Train Flipper says, "Nice
Yes.
stream. Take care. Gotta sleep." Yeah, I understand. Okay, so can you just check that you can move the pieces? So you're looking at the. Do you want to move the pieces so I can see your? Do you want to like press arrows? Naruto asks, "Have you finished Yusuf book series?" And I think I just did 2 or 3 chapters and then I stopped. Happiness Bunny, my hands are shaking. Wow, I didn't think you had it in you to come back. That was amazing, Happiness Bunny, or Variance Bunny, because obviously you were clearly like 5-4. I thought you were definitely going to win, and then when you like lost it, I thought you tired out, and that was an amazing comeback. Because then he won 2 in a row. It was like 6-5 up, and then you won 7-5. And what's the final score? It's like 8-6. Yeah, 8-6. So yeah, I mean, I hope I'll continue the Yusuf book series sometime, but realistically, I probably won't have time. Yeah, so Zaraza, can you move the pieces on this board? Can you just scroll just to show you can? Just want to make sure you're looking.
Um,
No, I'm saying I'm just trying to make sure you're in the study. Because you're in the study viewing it. So are you looking at the study right now? Yeah, okay, good, excellent. So we're on the same screen. Cool. So I just wanted to say, so this is game 1 of Play GM against Zaraza. So we're going to just do a quick instructive stuff about Crazyhouse, just some basic things. So Play GM played Bishop B5, and this is a positional mistake, because I mean C6 is okay, C6 is fine, but if you just play Bishop D7, this bishop is not really protected. So he
Maybe
takes. He could play knight here. This is true. And I just go look at see what engine says about that. It'd be maybe takes and knight f6 and say, yeah, so that this would be fine as well. But quite often, white would take this bishop, and the knight comes back here. And if you just compare this position here with the position before white moved the bishop out, what has happened is that these two squares, this this bishop here and this bishop here, have been removed off the board and put in each other's pockets, and black has also moved a knight. So black has been able to do two moves, put a bishop in his pocket and move a knight, whereas white has done one move, put a bishop in his pocket. So that's the reason why bishop b5 is a very slight positional mistake, because you can do this and then suddenly you're developing more quickly. You've suddenly developed two pieces when white only developed one piece. So it's just a very subtle, slight positional mistake. c6 is fine. c6 is also fine because you're getting like a tempo on the bishop, but it does block your knight from going to c6. And bishop e7, knight e2, nothing wrong with this, e5, castles, bishop g4, f3. I'll leave the engine on, but I'm not going to use the engine apart from on specific points. Bishop h5, and he went king h1. He went king h1, okay. And I was saying here, I'm not quite sure why I added d5. So I think, yeah, so he just backs off king h1, and here it takes on d4. So what I was saying about this one is, this pawn is, so the one reason you might want to take this pawn is because you're afraid he's going to push this pawn here and then you'll never get to take it. So that would be one reason why you'd want to push it. Like, suppose you're afraid of d5, but I think you're not afraid. You just go like this, and if he takes, just take back, and it helps you develop. So you're never afraid of this. So when this pawn is hanging here, what I was trying to say is, you can always take it whenever you want to. This pawn is always available for you to take when you're ready for you to use it in the attack. So this is the sort of second. So obviously you want to develop fast in Crazyhouse. That's like the first thing. But the second thing, which can sometimes be quite a subtle point, is that you don't necessarily want to take pieces until you know you want to use them. So in this case, we could take this pawn, and in fact you did take this pawn, but after takes, there's nowhere where you want to put that pawn. So you don't really want to use that pawn just yet. You're not quite ready to use the pawn. So since you weren't ready to use the pawn, it would have been better. Like, if you're going to play knight c6, knight f6 anyway, it would positionally be slightly better to go knight f6 first and take the pawn when you think you need it. So for example, if you want to go pawn at h3, then you take the pawn. So just to save up taking for when you really need a piece. So takes back, takes. But in general, I think swapping things is going to be good for your game, because obviously you're a Crazyhouse player. Just sometimes to be aware of, I need this piece for this purpose, and having a kind of a plan in mind of what you're planning to use the piece for. So here we're pushing forwards, queen d7, f takes e6, f takes e6, and here white backed off with bishop f2. Apparently he had a very strong move with d4. So why is this strong? Because knight takes d4. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly why this is strong, because don't we have something like this? Okay, so I feel like I'm getting a bit lost in analysis. And apparently we don't. Of course, we don't have that because of this. But now we have this as a threat, but then bishop can back off here and defend this. Okay. So anyway, bishop here is just a bit of a time-wasting move. It's not a big deal. So c5. Okay, so this is the thing. There's something actually very subtle here. Actually, it's quite hard to notice. It's obviously you always want to go h3 if you can. This is Crazyhouse, right? And actually, you have h3 here because if he takes, you've got bishop takes pawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. That's why bishop f2 is such a mistake. Because bishop f2 cuts off the rook from defending f3. So after this move, you have h3. Amazing. So that's the sort of pattern in your games. Go for h3 when you can. And this was an example just of an opportunity for going for h3. But okay. So instead you're putting pawns down on the queen side. So now you can't use that pawn to attack against the king. Knight takes, bishop at g3, castles, takes, and now he's trying to attack you. Takes, queen takes. So queen takes turned out to be a mistake because of what happened in the game. This bishop coming in. So game one didn't turn out. Doesn't look like it turned out too good because he wins this queen, and so
I remember this game.
yeah, this is a bit unfortunate. I'm sorry. Yeah. So
With his mate.
yeah, so here maybe had a faster mate with queen here check, pawn here check, queen here check, and bishop here. That was another way of doing it. And then I noticed in the chat people were saying, what about pawn at b5? And they were talking about this being a moon mate. But a moon mate is when this, because it is a clearance mate, because the point is if you take it, then the queen comes here and then queen takes pawn. So it's a very pretty mate, but it's not a moon mate. A moon mate is when you're using this pawn later in the mating sequence. So okay, that was a very pretty mate, but okay, he got mate in the end. It's not very interesting. So that was game one. If it's too late, by the way, feel free to say this is you need to go to sleep or anything, and that's completely fine. So if you ever need to go to sleep, I understand it's much late. It's late for me, and it's even later for you. So I totally understand. And Blunderman says he's off too, so we're losing our viewers as well. So if you need to go to sleep, that's completely fine. Is that, you understand? So don't feel pressure to stay because... Okay, but this is another example. You took this knight, and so I'm thinking, that's great, but what are you going to use the knight for? Like if you're going to use the knight, for example, here, if you're ready for an attack, then you take the knight. But if you're going to take the knight and then castle, then it's like, you could have done all those exchanges a move later and done castle first. So there was no need. So okay, you want to do all of these trades, trade, but you could have castled first and then done all of those trades, right? You see, imagine if you castled first, castle, and then you do all of these trades.
Yeah.
Now it's your move, and you can. Yeah, you can now use these pieces you've dropped on the board in some way. Except software still wants you to develop, but develop this knight and so on. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes you want to trade when you need the piece. But okay, you want to trade heavy. You want to trade heavy, but also you want to be aware, I'm going to trade and then I'm going to put the piece back on the board, attacking. So okay, you traded first and then you attacked. This is all very risky, by the way, obviously putting a bishop on g2 because you're bringing your king up. So a little bit risky. Bishop at g4 is apparently a little bit safer, but it's all very... You're bringing your queen out, so it's... the reason why it's risky is the worry, what about bishop at f5? My queen is going to get harassed. And this doesn't work because of knight at h6 and then pick off the bishop. So... And in fact, you don't even pick off the bishop. You actually do this, and you have a huge attack going. You take his queen. He doesn't have time to take your queen because you've got mate here, queen and rook mate. So this is the kind of thing where you can actually defend with a more aggressive move and bring your queen out. But this one made your king a little bit exposed.
Yeah.
And again, you're putting a bishop where it can be taken. Which, if it was a pawn, it'd be fine, but it's slightly giving material to your opponent when your king is the one under attack. So bishop at h3 is just slightly safer, defending the square, while... But okay, it's hard to say. Queen g4 is another idea of attacking and having your own ideas. But okay, it's very difficult.
Okay.
Bishop at g2 is just, yeah. So takes is very nice. That's nice because... And this one you don't really want to take back always. Now here you want to take it back probably because it's taking your bishop. But sometimes you don't want... So you see, here you want to take it back because it has an onward threat. If the knight ever is near your king and is not actually going anywhere, sometimes you just try and trap it. Like, imagine you did a move like this, then the knight can't really go anywhere. So this is... I'm not saying this is good, but this is actually okay. It's not too bad. Because the knight can't get out now. And the knight actually protects your king a little bit. But okay, king takes is fine in this position. And you get your rook out the way. And this is a position where black was thinking, as long as I have a knight, I can mate you, and he starts hunting for your knights.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure, you have to keep your knights protected, because knights will mate you. He's hunting your knights, you protect. There was a move back here. Bishop at d3. So apparently... Okay, so apparently you had some crazy move here. Knight at h6. So this is very hard. Given you want to protect knights, there's a crazy move here of going for this mate here. So if he dares take you, you do this check, and this is checkmate.
Nice mate.
But that's hard to see. That's hard to see. So after knight h6, he has to go king h8, and then you can go pawn f6, and suddenly you're the one with the massive attack on his king. But that's hard to see when you're trying to preserve your knights to suddenly go knight at h6. So what you did was kind of more secure, just trying to protect your knights, and then you protect your knights, and then you did this whole thing. So yeah, this is very nice. And then you still have to protect your knights, these knights. So the rook is protecting. Oh, and this is the position I actually showed you on the stream last time, because it's a very nice position. There's this beautiful move, queen at h6, and the point is, if he takes the rook, then it's queen takes pawn checkmate. But if he defends,
I remember.
yeah, and if he defends like this, then you just take it. so you can't defend. There's no defense basically.
Easy.
Yeah. It's that's a very beautiful little mate. I wouldn't have seen it because you have to have your eye. The fact this is pinned, so yeah. So instead, you just took the material, which is safe. Just always keeping an eye. Make sure I've got the knight checks covered. And now you're giving away a knight, so you've got to be careful that you keep check. Got to keep check. Got to keep check. Got to keep check. Oh. Oh, you don't keep check, but you're lucky because the queen still defends. So you're just about, yeah. So you're actually still protecting it with the queen. So the queen is a really important piece, still protecting the mate. And then he's in a losing position and lost on time. So that was game 2. Yeah, okay. And then maybe the other theme I wanted to talk about a little bit was your opponent castles, and you have a pawn in hand. Go for it, straight away. Yeah, go, pawn h3. All the usual stuff. So takes. If he puts a pawn on g2, take it, takes back, and put a pawn on where? Why don't you play? Pawn on. So you play black.
F3?
On where? f3. Okay, f3. Sorry, yeah, f3 is aggressive. Usually you go pawn to g4, just preparing. Now, okay, Stockfish actually doesn't like either. Stockfish just wants you to develop, actually, in this position. Stockfish says, just laugh at the opponent's king and develop.
Oh.
But what I wanted to say is usually you go pawn at g4, and the idea is if white does nothing, next you go pawn at f3. Or actually, if white does something, if white tries to protect like this, Okay, you still go pawn at f3, and by going pawn at f3, you're defending your pawn on g5. And there's a very common trick. If you take, queen takes, then then what?
Knight h4.
Yeah, knight at h4, and this is completely winning. And so obviously he can't take with the queen, he has to take with the king. And now what the best move is, I bet you it's just develop. Apparently it's not. Apparently it's queen e8. What? Queen e8? a5? So the computer's being funny. I was thinking just this is the best move, just develop. I mean, his king is in the open. We don't quite have enough material in hand to mate him, but just develop. But if you did want to mate him, you could do moves like this to cut off his king from running back. So if he tries to do this, just maybe moves like, I was thinking moves like this, so you're defending the knight and so on. But you don't quite have enough pieces to mate him. Just you're hoping for this and this, but then he'll do this, protecting. So you don't have enough pieces to mate him, but you just keep his king in the center and you bring all your pieces into the attack. And there's no point doing moves like bishop here check, for example, because otherwise he'll just block and protect his king even more. So you just want to slowly bring your pieces into the attack, or quickly, whatever. And also, when his king is open, who wants to trade heavy? Do you want to trade, or does he want to trade? Like, if you offer like imagine if his king was here, and you did this, and he did this. You know, what would you do? You'd say, juicy rook file. Let's see if I can trade something on it, right? Because his king's in the open, you're the one who wants to trade heavily. Whereas when your king is unsafe, you want to try not to trade too much. You want to try and preserve trades when your king is unsafe. But when his king is unsafe, you want to trade all those pieces and attack him. But okay, so hit on h3. Whenever you see any opportunity, you did hit on h3 the next move. I'm just saying you could have done it even one move earlier. But it's very good. You did it. In fact, you did exactly like this. Exactly what I said. At g4. But here, how do you defend a pawn at g4? So what do we say? How do you defend a pawn on g4? A neat way of defending it. Instead of trying to defend... So this actually works because if knight takes is what happened, pawn at e2. So this actually works, but there's an even better way of defending the pawn.
I was trying to save this.
Trying to save.
I was trying to save this pawn on
the e2.
Yes, pawn h5.
Yeah, I understand. You wanted to save the pawn for e2 for this juicy fork. Yes, which is fair enough. But this is very strong though. This is strong. And then try and get another pawn for e2 next, because here, if you just get a knight and a pawn, it's already mate. So it'd be tempting after. Yeah, I mean it's tempting after this to try and do this, and maybe even sack on here. These sorts of ideas. Okay. So Stockfish still thinks White's doing okay here, by the way. But okay, so actually what you did in the end actually turned out to be very good, because he took the pawn here, and so you get something even better. He took the pawn here, and so you tricked him into falling for this. So this turns out to be even better than what I'm talking about. But normally you'd want to protect that pawn with the pawn on f3, and try and build a mating attack. He does this.
It was an X for him.
Yeah. So about these pawns on h7, so I know the instinct is if you take it, you'll get into trouble. But sometimes if you don't take it, you'll also get into trouble. So if you take it, what were you afraid of? If he checks you with the bishop, you can block.
Yeah.
If he checks you with the knight, you can take it. So this is a kind of situation where you could have actually just grabbed that pawn and had an extra pawn for your attack. But okay, actually, I just realized what you're afraid of. You're afraid. Yeah. So I'm just saying. So actually, there was something to be afraid of, which I didn't notice, which is he goes check and then saves his rook. And the only reason you shouldn't be afraid of that. So actually, you're right. It was actually quite subtle. The only reason you shouldn't be afraid of that is because I was going to say because you can do this, But you can't do that. Okay, so actually, what do you do against this? You can't do this because then he takes this pawn. So actually, yeah, it wasn't unreasonable to be afraid, because I was thinking this and then this, and suddenly you haven't got your juicy fork. So okay, so it was actually I can see the reasoning actually for being afraid, because he does have this kind of concept. Like Stockfish hates it, but it's still there. Queen here, and Stockfish is being very brave. Just come down here, but that looks risky, because then he goes rook here, and then what do I do now? Okay, so basically the reasons are very subtle, and I don't understand them. Oh, of course, the bishop just takes this rook here. Can't even go there. Okay, so not taking is smart, but I'm just saying sometimes you do want to take. Sometimes you do want to take. Obviously not. Maybe you were right not to take here. Actually, it was too subtle for either of us to understand why one should not take, basically, or should take. And so what you got was actually very nice. You got basically a very nice back rank attack, and he doesn't have anything. I mean, here, if you were brave, you could even take this. But you'd have to be brave.
No.
You have to be brave, and yeah, one has to be brave. So yeah, I wouldn't say always do this. The only reason you can... Yeah.
I calculation it.
Yeah, there's a very subtle reason why you can get away with this. It's this, this, and this, defending the mate. But it's very subtle.
Variants, I calculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because if he ever steps back, you get the queen, and if he steps forward, you get this check which protects the mate, and the rook protects the mate here. So it's very subtle. It's very subtle because he does this, now you can just take the queen, and his king's in the open, and you probably put a queen here, keep him up, and then yeah. I mean, so if he does something like pawn here, so he's threatening queen here, checkmate. Then where's the mate here? I'm struggling to find the mate. I was thinking queen at g2, but that doesn't work. Apparently h5 is good. Notice this rook. Notice the rook files cutting off the king. That's also useful to notice. So apparently h5 is good.
King take knight.
King can take the knight. Yep. And then can you see the mate?
When queen g4?
Yeah, queen g4, exactly.
Mate?
Yeah.
Mate?
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's quite subtle, actually. So what you did was fine, actually. But I'm just saying there was a very subtle reason why you could... Okay, so then he did this, which was a blunder, and you delivered this very nice mate. Takes the knight and delivers mate. Okay, that was very nice. Okay, as I said, there are a lot of chapters, and maybe you want, at any point, if you want to stop, just say stop, and we'll stop. Okay? But I'll just quickly run through. So this one, you're white. We play a London system again. And e4. Yeah, e4 is slight. So probably it's more solid to go rook c1 and e4. I can understand you want a pawn for h6. If you're doing e4, the reason you're doing e4 is you want a pawn for h6.
I prefer center.
Yeah, okay, so you go e4, takes, but then you didn't go h6. So here, I mean, the whole point of e4 was to get a pawn and then put it on h6. But you didn't go h6. So you go h6 and then, yeah, you're winning this. Yeah. But okay, so instead you traded here and pushed here and then you go f6. And
it was first.
And he got scared at this point and resigned. And the reason he resigned is obviously you have moves like knight here, check, pawn here, blocking off his bishop. He can grab your knight, but then you have this nice idea of, if he does nothing, of going pawn here, check, king here, and knight here, checkmate. So, and if he does take on f6, then yeah. So that was a very nice win. And
thank you.
So then we have the wolf defense. He just gave away a free pawn, so that's nice. And he's just weakened up like the dark squares around his king. Just backs off. So there's a slight weakening move.
I was
So this is nice. This is nice defense. This bishop here, I like it.
Opervision says what pawn f2 f3 is a bad move. I see it Opervision.
Hi there, Pepe. Thanks for the
2-3
raid.
pawn.
And hi, Joanna and Chescudo and Flicker Alex. And thanks for the sub, Joanna Tries. Thanks. Yeah, we're just doing. We just watched a very exciting match with for.variantbunny, and we're just doing a quick instructional Crazyhouse stream here. Yeah, F3 is. I can't see Oppa's comment, but yeah, I don't know why I can't see it. But yeah, F3 is a slight positional weakening move in this position, because you got to watch out that knight here, pawn here, sort of weakening these dark squares around the king. It's not.
Play GM often plays f2 f3.
Yeah, so sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's weak. Yeah. So it's a kind of. So it depends on the position. So if you need to control these squares, it's good. If you need to control those squares, it's not so. So in this position, it's fine. If black got a knight on here.
I've been analyzing this game.
Yeah. So what happened this game? I mean, I'm just going to flick through. I like this move a lot. I really like this move. Defended like this really strong dark square defense. I like that a lot. Takes here. So even though he's winning this game, I quite like the. And I had some analysis. Rook takes f8. Ah, yeah. So this position. So he hasn't realized his dark squares are so weak, and you need to capitalize at some point. So bishop at e3, for example, and if he does bishop at f2, just takes. And the thing is, he can't take with the rook. So if he takes with the rook, there's a problem. Pawn h2, king takes h2, queen takes h4, and he can block. But now, this is a critical move, and I would sometimes get this wrong. I would just go pawn here, and pawn takes rook, and that's a mistake. If you go pawn here, you're suddenly losing.
Knight on h6. Mate.
Exactly. I mean, so if you just go pawn here and here, then exactly, knight at h6 will just checkmate you. Exactly. But so pawn here is still good apparently, but then you'd have to take a move out to defend. But there's a very strong move here.
Knight on. No, white on knight h6 and checkmate me for me.
Yeah. So, but you are black, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So what would you play instead of pawn at g3? What's a stronger move than pawn at g3? So it turns out it's bishop at f. I'm sorry, I'm giving away the answers. It's bishop at f4.
This is best.
So the reason is because it leaves a space here for the knight. I think that's the reason anyway. Because if he goes king g1, then you've got pawn here check.
On h2,
And if he runs this way, you're going to get a queen.
On h1.
Exactly. So if he runs away, you're getting a queen. But if he goes this way, then you have the square saved up for the knight. Here. And now, I would actually get this wrong myself, so I'm cheating and looking at the engine and stuff. Knight here, the idea is if the king goes here, you've got queen takes rook. And if the king goes directly back, you have knight takes rook. So wherever he goes, he's running into trouble. So if he goes here, you've got queen takes rook. Here, and then, well, if you've got a rook, so rook and h2 is mate. So that's going to be bad. And if he does this, then knight takes rook. And then here, and can you see the mate? Mate in 1?
h1.
Rook at h1, exactly. So that's a very nice little pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this position here, yeah, bishop at f4 is super powerful. He could defend by like pawn on g3, but then you could go queen takes, and you can if he goes to h1, just queen here is checkmate. So he could try and go this other way. Is it? Takes, he goes this other way, queen here, he tries to run away. But then you have back rank thing going on, because he can try and defend, but remember, you especially kept g3 open for your knight. So he can run away, but now queen takes g1. And actually, I mean, he can do this.
On d2. Oh, d2. No, bishop. Yeah.
Yeah. So so going all the way back to here, that was a really sneaky move. This bishop at f4, because it covers d2.
Yeah.
It covers running away it covers the king from running away. It covers the king from running away, but it also leaves a square for the knight.
Cool succeed.
It leaves a square for the knight on g3, but it also leaves a square for the queen on g3. So it's a really cunning move for lots of reasons.
Yeah.
So, point is, if you go here, we just drop a pawn and promote it, and if he goes here directly, we drop a knight on g3. Knight on g3, king here, and then drop a pawn. And then drop a pawn, and king takes pawn, and then this very powerful move, knight swinging back, and now the queen is. So now you see you've got 3 pieces all attacking this king along these dark squares. Quite powerful. Yeah, so that was a really nice idea. So that's why. So and you have to. That's if rook takes, and so if he does king takes, well, you still got the same sorts of ideas: queen here, pawn here, knight here, check, knight takes, bishop check. It's always very risky because you've got to watch out for mate. So you have to either keep check or make sure you guard the mate. And in this final position, you're threatening pawn here and picking up the queen with check, which is why it's so dangerous. And you could try and do something like this, but then you've got knight takes rook, check, and checkmate. So something like this. So you had a very amazing counterattack here, but hard to see, but you can kind of see why it was there because you can see these squares around the king. So you can get, and certainly getting started with this bishop at e3 move makes a lot of sense because it looks at this square, but it also starts plugging away at these weaknesses. But now you can see why f3 can sometimes be weak because of these weaknesses. So that was just some fun variations. Anyway, so instead you took here. Now this is actually quite important. When you want to take this back, usually you want to take back with the queen. And I guess the reason you didn't want to take with the queen, you're afraid of this, then you're afraid of rook g8, rook g8, and the thing is, yeah, rook on g8, or actually another move is even rook on e8. That's maybe even more annoying.
Oh, best move.
But in both cases, you can just. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm not sure actually. So, but certainly rook on e8 is obviously bad because you just take it. Take. Maybe don't take. Actually, just take once, and this knight is not a threat. The knight near your king is never a threat. So take once, and in fact you have forced mate in this position as black. Can you believe it? Those holes actually mean you have forced mate. I mean, the line goes like this: check, 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 and check, and checkmate. So, okay, not necessarily easy to see, but notice again the pattern of the bishop on f4 to pick up extra material, and the bishop here controlling the run to the queen side. So, yeah, so sometimes giving away a queen for 2 pieces would be fine, or even. But actually, I'd be a little bit scared actually if white did rook here, and I wouldn't know what to do here necessarily. But apparently, because after this, he has bishop here check, king takes bishop, knight takes queen. In this position, yeah, you'd know what to do here. There's only one move. It's true, your opponent has a queen, but you quickly take away that knight, and then he doesn't have anything. He's only got a queen. And so you're completely winning here, amazingly. Isn't that amazing? You've just taken away all his pieces. So going back to this position, knight here, rook here was not something to be afraid of. In Bughouse it might be something to be afraid of, but no, but really it wasn't something to be afraid of. You can just take the pieces. So queen takes queen, keep your king and queen near each other, it'll keep your king really safe. Your king will always be safe if your queen is next to it. The queen is a very good protector. So it defends h6, and the other reason, by the way, why king takes was a problem is what happened in the game. He got in on the back rank. You leave a square here for the rook. And let's just play through the game. We don't need to go into too much detail. Bishop at g5, rook on h8, knight here. Even though you get some kind of attack, he gets a back rank and then double checkmate. A very beautiful mate, for sure. But whatever you did, it's just really uncomfortable. He has this back rank, and it's just very hard to defend.
Brutal mate.
Brutal mate, absolutely. So as I said, if you want to stop at any time, just say stop, because otherwise I'll just keep on going on and on and on. So if you need to stop, just say stop, okay? So yeah, this, again, I don't like this because of you've created a lot of dark square weaknesses around your king in this position.
Yeah.
It wasn't needed.
I know.
Yeah, like if there were other ways of defending this pawn. So
I save pawn e4.
Meaning, so like if black had pawns, here and here, then sometimes you need like a pawn on f3 to try and break them down and stuff. But here, the pawns were secure anyway. Anyway, so just knight c3 was strong. Knight c3 is strong. You have a very dominant position. Long term, your plan should be try and get some pressure on, like to go here, here. If black just did nothing like this, you'd go here, here. What would your plan be? Go here, you did here, and you just go straight in. Well, I was thinking here, but Stockfish likes this. Here, and then knight takes f7. King takes f7. Just get a pawn on e6.
No,
so you see how this bishop is never getting out of the game. This rook is stuck for the rest of the game. It's not. You're not even mating your opponent. You can actually sit in this position. You don't even need to trade. If you're in this position, you don't even need to trade heavily. You can just you can enjoy the positional advantage, is what I'm trying to say. But you can also mate him very quickly, also. But you don't have to mate him quickly. Even you can enjoy being up so many pieces. So yeah, that's why e6 is always going to be an interesting square for you in this kind of setup. But by doing this, it means this is going to be an interesting square for him in this setup. Okay, so he does this, takes. Okay, I'm always looking at that e6 square going, can I ever get in on it? h5, bishop h3. So I don't know what this line was. King h1, h4. I'm not sure what this is. Oh yeah, so at some level you don't need to be too scared of h4, h3, because you can always take it. If it ever happens, you can always take it and put, I was going to say, and put a pawn back on g2. That's what I wanted to say. You can always take it and put a pawn back on g2, although he will have the open file, so you've got to be careful about like knight here check and stuff like this. But in this particular position, e6 is weak, so you can always take it and put a pawn on e6 and go, actually, your e6, your problems are bigger than my problems in this particular position. But okay, I was just saying an imaginary thing. Okay, so bishop h3 is fine. I'm just saying don't be too scared of this push, because sometimes you can. I like this move anyway. You're pointing at e6. It's a nice move. King h1. So you see why this was a positional error from him. So this, I'll say, is a mistake, because you want your king on h1 in this setup. With this weak square down here, you want your king away from this diagonal. And by going bishop here, he's just pushing your king to where you want to go anyway. You'd go king h1 even if you didn't put the bishop there. So it was a very natural move. You want to go king h1 anyway. So normally, whenever someone checks you want to block. But this is excellent. You want to put your king on h1 so you don't block. It's excellent. And you had nothing to block with either. But yeah, so king h1 is what you wanted to do anyway. h4, you chuck his bishop away, and okay, and the game goes on. You try and get some back rank ideas.
This moment.
Yep.
This moment, back on h7.
So here, pawn h7.
Is it rook on h5,
Yeah.
and me needed knight h6. I don't see it then.
Do you want to show it on the board?
H6.
Oh, knight h6. Yeah. So you're thinking like knight h6, like here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Then I make queen.
Yeah, no, that's a very nice move.
Mate. No, mate.
So the idea is the
Yeah.
idea is just interference.
I don't see it.
No, it's a very
Yeah.
nice move, yeah. Because the point is, if he takes the knight, you promote.
Yeah.
And if he takes with the rook, then yeah, it's a very nice move. Yeah, that's a very nice move.
And takes bishop.
Yeah, and then promote.
The queen.
Yeah. It's a beautiful move.
So.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I didn't see that when I was looking at the games because I was just skimming through. And you grab this rook, and you grab this pawn, you grab this knight, and then there's a slight mistake because you only have one defender. You see, you haven't developed your queen side, so you haven't got good defense on the back rank.
Yeah.
And you just needed this game. You're completely won, and you just needed to take one move to defend, like rook f1, and then do knight at t6 next move. And you're completely winning. But because you just went straight in with the attack, he has this mate, back rank mate. It's a classic back rank mate. The queen and the pawn, like this.
Easy mate.
It's a classic pattern. The queen and the pawn, and then push the king away and takes. Yeah. So it's one of those examples. You just need to take one moment out to defend, and then you're completely winning. But you need to just take that moment out to defend with the rook on the back rank. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Remembered.
Yeah.
Thank
you. And this one.
This is my favorite games in my CWC.
Your CWC games. So here there was a crazy tactic of bishop here, check, and takes here.
No. Oh, sorry. Another game.
But all right. But this game is kind of interesting because if you take here and you're hoping that he takes here and you take here. That's what you're hoping. But he has so this position here. He grabs a pawn. He thinks he's so smart, and you go, haha, check. I'm going to grab your bishop, and then he goes, okay, I'm gonna. If you try and grab my bishop, I'll grab your bishop.
Oh, he close knight on c3. Yeah.
He could. Oh, okay. A knight on c3. Okay. Okay. Yeah. But if he does knight c3, you can take it. It's pinned.
Da. So. Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's good. It's good to recognize. So c3, queen takes bishop, and you're hoping to take this. There's only one problem. What if white does this? So now you can't go and take your rook.
Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. So you think, so this doesn't work. But the thing is, it does work because you just back off, takes, and this knight is so gorgeous because it's hitting both these squares. You can't defend both. And you've just won a bishop, which you're just planning to play on g2, hitting both the rook and the pawn. So there's so many threats on the board, and white can't defend everything. So actually, as a general principle, but this is just a mistake. This bishop is a beautiful defender of the king. You never want to. I mean, of course, it's a free pawn, but sometimes you've got to be careful about taking free pawns. This bishop's yeah.
Okay. As Russians, you are a brain.
Say it again.
Second. As the Russians say, you brain.
Okay, I mean, I just analyzed.
It means smart.
No, 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 no.
Smart.
However,
Yeah, yeah.
they're always smart. They're always smarter people around. So yeah. Like my chat is much smarter than I am, and chat can confirm they're much smarter than I am. So yeah, so there's this beautiful idea, but it's very tricky. So okay, so you played this, takes bishop f5, h4. So this sort of situation, yeah, probably e4 was good.
Great move, bishop on f5. No,
Yes.
I want to take a pawn,
So if
but
this,
yeah.
this, the problem is you think you're making progress taking a pawn, but you get attacked first on this back. So you're a bit weak back here, and you'd have to go here and then.
Rook on h. Oh,
So that's the
oh
problem.
shit.
Yeah. So you think you're making progress, but actually, white is actually benefiting. So that's why there's a slight. So
Wait.
so this is the power of this move: is it opens up the queen, and it attacks the defender of h7. But okay, that was just some nasty idea he had. Okay, he missed it, and he played h4, and then you played this sort of game of chicken, and traded some pieces. And here, sometimes just move the rook is fine. Like he doesn't have another pawn, so just moving the rook was fine.
Maybe.
Yeah. But okay, here you give up a whole rook. It's a slight problem, and okay, it gets a bit painful here because he's just got too much material, and he gets the mate. It's just too much.
First mate.
Too much. Yeah. So it all came from the holes, I guess, in this part of the board. So you've got to be careful. Yeah. But okay. Anyway, this one we're up against the wolf defense. He's afraid of your pawn. He runs away. Takes.
Where he's don't play it in London system.
Yep. He's playing this wolf defense. King f8. Bishop takes.
He don't play.
He doesn't play. Yeah. So this is a nice thing because he is afraid to take back because obviously takes here and takes the rook.
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted.
So this is all very good from you. Just smashing through. Smash. Yeah, brilliant. And then pawn at f7. Brilliant. See, you know how to play Crazyhouse, basically.
Yes.
And then, okay, then this is disappointing. Because
I think what queen on f3 or queen on f5.
yeah, so queen on f5 is actually okay. Queen on f5 is okay, but something interesting is if you want to mate a king, you often like try and draw the king out and then use the queen to cut the king off or deliver the very final mate. So often you go pawn drop, and then the queen mate. So in this sort of position, you go pawn here, check, king takes pawn, bishop at f5 check, stopping the king from running back. Because if the king ran to here, it's safe. Now, yeah, now here, do you put a queen here? No, what piece should you put here? Not a queen, right? If you put the queen here, the king runs back, it's completely safe. I mean, white's is winning according to the engine, but it's completely safe. So the piece you use is, of course, the pawn. And the queen, you save up the queen to last, in a way. You save the queen up to the end.
If
now,
king take,
yeah, if the king takes, now this is interesting. So if the king takes the bishop, yeah, then of course you can't necessarily save up the king to the end. Then you probably use the queen to cut off. So my instinct is queen here.
Yes.
And that is
forgot it. Yeah.
That is in fact the move. So this check here, then knight here check, and knight here check is supporting the queen coming here if it needs to. Queen has to go.
I see it stockfish.
End of.
Analyze it.
Yeah, no, but this is a really nice pattern. If the king is in the middle of the board, just stick a queen behind it, and it can never come back. And then even if you don't have mate, you can just slowly, like even if you didn't have mate, Like suppose you had no pieces in hand, you could just slowly bring your pieces around, or play moves like this, and prepare the mate, right? Even if you had no pieces in hand, you could like slowly prepare some kind of mate with just this, and queen here, right? So yeah, this is powerful. And there's another.
But
and if you went this way, then then there's a mate in one which I didn't see, which is queen here.
Queen d5.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
so that's the thing. So often save up the queen for the end of the mate, and the exception for that is save up the queen to cut off all the squares. Yeah, so usually the queen's at the end of the mate or to cut off all the squares. So like there's no point keeping on dropping pawns now because the king is, if you drop pawn still, like pawn here, then the king would run back. And then the king would run back, right? So that would be a mistake. So you drop the king just enough to get him out in the middle of the board, and then you block him off in the middle of the board. So you use the queen to block him off. So that's a really really cool, beautiful idea. But okay, so instead you did this. It means you just had to work a lot harder to get stuff to work, and you got him in the end, I think. But gosh, you just had to work hard, man. Okay, so you got him. So that's a good one.
What? This is my favorite games. This CWC match.
Yeah, these are your CWC match games.
Yeah.
All of them.
But stop. Stop. Back.
Yeah. You take control.
This is.
So I should add you as
bishop on b3.
Yeah, you're added on the study. You can move anything you like. Bishop b3.
This is next move. Yeah.
You move.
I go in.
Move the pieces as you want.
c5.
Yeah. You can move you move the pieces. You take control.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah.
c5. Pawn c5.
Yeah, but you can move it if you want. Yeah. You can click.
Yes. Next move.
Yeah, but okay. I'm saying you can click it if you want to.
But no. Pawn back. If bishop take d5.
Yes.
Queen take bishop.
Oh, yes, that's true.
And white now c7.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Ouch.
Stockfish see me.
Yeah, so that's why don't push this pawn until the king is castled. Basically,
yes.
As like a rough rule of thumb.
Great move.
Never move this pawn until the king is castled. Yeah, that's the great tip for beginners in Crazyhouse. Don't play the Sicilian. Don't play the Queen's Gambit. Keep that c pawn in place until your king is safely castled, and then the c pawn is quite a good thing to push if you want to desperately get a pawn to stick on h3 or h6. So if you're desperate for a pawn to go attacking on, that's when you go and push the c pawn. Yeah, that's a good spot, and I missed it. So bishop e7, knight e2, castles, f3. Again, f3 not so strong, and you showed why this game.
f3 again.
Yeah, so there was no need for it. Like he's already controlling this square with this pawn, so he doesn't need f3. And by doing f3, you showed exactly why f3 is bad because.
f3, opening me my win.
Yeah, opening your diagonal.
Yes.
And this is what you did. So what's the plan? My king is safe. Your king, not so safe. I mean, although it looks safe, it's got a weakness. So what's my plan? Exchange pieces. And that's what we basically did. Exchange pieces. And
I need bishop.
Yeah, you need a bishop. Just keep on going. Boom, boom, boom. Exchange pieces.
Yeah.
And keep exchange your pieces. And yeah. Queen takes d2. Now in this position, you actually had a very beautiful move. In this position, you had an amazing move. I wonder if you can see it without looking at the engine.
I see it in game. I see it. I calculation it,
So what's your move here?
but he didn't see it.
Okay, so what's your move here as black?
Mhm.
What move do you play here as black? Can you
True.
see? Sorry?
He afraid my knight. What I take him.
Sorry, I'm not following.
And
So
queen, white queen on 4.
there's a very beautiful move here you have as black. Because what you played was this, which is very good, and you won the game the next move.
Yeah.
But you have an even stronger move.
Yes. And queen
No, no,
go
no, no.
to
Knight is great because knight is
4.
threatening mate in 1. But there's a stronger move. Maybe someone in chat can see
Yeah.
it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just show it. It's rook at h2.
Very best.
Rook at h2. You let him take your
No.
rook, and then you go knight. Check.
No. Queen h3.
King h3.
Queen king.
Rook here, check. King here.
No.
Pawn here, check.
No.
King here. And there are many ways of mating. Like you could just go rook here, check. Pawn here, check. But I wanted to emphasize.
Long mate.
Yeah, I wanted to emphasize. Actually, it's often a good idea when you're using a queen to think. It's a really good idea to check with the queen
Yeah.
if all of the squares along here are protected. So the reason why this is so powerful is it brings the queen into the mating attack, and nothing can block it. Nothing can block this queen coming in. And so basically, he could block, but you just take it, and then he backs off, and then you mate. So okay, so what you did actually was maybe it's better than this because you won next move. Was this would take about 5 or 6 moves to win. So you did this and then won next move. So maybe what you did was a better move, arguably. But I just want to say there was a very nice, beautiful forcing sequence by going rook here first. But okay, that's good. Okay, so we only got 3 more to go. So I know I've just been going on and on. So sorry, it's almost midnight here, and it must be so late where you are. So this was another London. So this was a London system, and Rook C1. You see, I like Rook C1, and so you're putting all this pressure. I like this move. And notice because he's put pressure on here, you're not pushing here. But I think it's actually this is quite a good solid setup to keep like this. I think this is sometimes a mistake. When I used to do this a lot when I used to sometimes push this pawn here, and it's not always a good idea to push this pawn. Just try and play very solid. Just go queen here, rook here. You know, maybe push the pawn sometimes, but and this is just a gift. He's just given you a free pawn. Take the pawn, grab it, and put it on h6. So you go takes, 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 takes. Good, get some material, but then you don't put it on h6. h6 is where it belongs, right? This is a crazy house. So you want to go takes, takes, pawn g7, takes, takes, and you can't go pawn g5 because that's controlled. So what can you do here? You can grab this bishop, apparently, just get a bit more extra material. Pawn d6 is one idea. Knight h5 is an idea. But anyway, his king is open, so anything is good here. Anything that doesn't lose material is going to be good here. Just keep on trading and keep the attack going.
I'm sorry.
The idea is just keep trading material, keep the attack going, having gone pawn at h6. So pawn at h6 is the idea, and keep trading. So what happened in the game? Yeah, so in the game you traded rooks again. So now you don't have a pawn, but even now, like knight h6 is okay. But okay, you don't have a pawn anymore. Bring the queen out. Okay. Unfortunately, you can defend with the rook, so you have to back off again.
And back.
I'm just flicking through the game here. So you're under a lot of pressure. So this is a problem. You have to take this seriously because this is your back rank, and your rook is your only defender on your back
Yes.
rank. So this, yeah, there's no time for that. Yeah, and he showed you have no time because there's nothing. Yeah, and he got you in the end. So basically, maybe the one thing here is this threat was too fast. You couldn't counterattack. Sometimes you have to defend. You have to just do this. This is like a moment. You have to just defend. Like you're still losing this, but the game goes on. Maybe he does this or something. But so it's still difficult. But you saw the games of the top players. They just roll up into a ball, right? You know, they'll put their bishop here and they'll put their knight here and they'll just roll up into a ball. But they wouldn't let the rook hang here, right? They wouldn't try and counterattack. You have to roll up into a ball, pick up some material, and then go for the counterattack when you're safe. And you weren't safe just yet. Okay, so it's just 2 more games to go. So this one, he's again playing c4. You see, this is already a mistake because he's opening up this square, and I think you punished him in a way for it. Look at this move. Already, you're looking at this weak square. Knight d3 is very nice. You're already saying, brilliant. Give me a queen trade. It's excellent. Saying like your position is weaker. Let me trade everything. This is excellent. Okay, he tries to stop the trade, and you say, so here you had a very strong move, actually, which you missed, which is bishop c6, because it hits the queen and it also defends this pawn. So, I mean, what you played was okay, but it dropped this pawn, and this pawn is a very strong pawn, so you lose a lot of your advantage. But okay, you get a queen trade, which is nice, but you lost your killer pawn. Bishop at d3, amazing. You're going to stop him from castling, you're going to threaten mate. Okay, so you can see you're going to harass his knight. Okay, so you're just killing him this game. And yeah, very nice. Again, very nice. Comes in with this. Again, such a brilliant move this, by the way, because the idea is if he takes here, you go rook at g1. So yeah, the longer you play, the more you
have more time.
the more you find your rhythm when you're playing Crazyhouse. Now you're playing your best now at the end of the match. So rook takes pawn, rook at g1, checkmate. Beautiful. So he has to go king takes. And now you go knight g5, king g2, pawn here, rook here. So you have mate. I think he flagged at this point, but you had mate basically with knight g5. The point being, if he steps up, rook h5 is mate, and if he steps back, then pawn here and rook here is mate. So, but yeah, he kind of saw the mate and lost on time. So that was brilliant.
More time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really nicely played.
I calculation.
Yeah, you calculated it all out. That's the thing. I think you should always leave like at least a little bit of time for calculating the mates, if possible. And the final game, again, London system. Oh, this was another crazy game, wasn't it? Because he had a strong attack on you. Okay, so I'm not sure about this move, but okay. But if you are going to play this move, get a pawn on h6. Get a pawn on h6. You see, because that's what he's doing to you. He's getting a pawn on h3. You should get a pawn on... I wonder. Pawn at h3, takes, king takes. I'm just wondering what else you could do here. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, maybe take and do this, get a piece out of it. I'm not sure. The standard takes.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is difficult, basically. Yeah, it's difficult. So this is okay, I guess. Then takes and g2. That's nice. Defend. Defend. He sacks. Maybe don't take it. Maybe take it. Maybe don't take it. It's not clear. Maybe takes here is good as well. But okay, takes here is fine. And now you've got to be really careful you don't lose a rook, because if you ever lose a rook, you're mated. So you have to be. He's trying to trade rooks. You block the file. Block. You saw this. He's trying to win a rook.
Yeah. I close on e5 because don't open in 5G.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to open
Yeah,
up
and
files.
don't take him a rook.
Exactly, exactly. So pawn e5 to avoid the rook trade. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then there again, trying to protect against rooks and also knights, because knights would make you lose a queen, and then a queen would mate you. So you need to protect knights as well. So it's a tricky
Yes.
position. You need to hold rook, hold knight. Oh, and maybe you panicked at this point. Only,
And
yeah, I see why. Yeah, because bishop takes knight, knight here is nasty.
yes, he won't take my knight, and I open pawn f2, f3, because king can go in.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what I'd honestly. I don't know what I'd play in this position. Um, I mean, Stockfish has some crazy ideas, which I didn't really. Why can't he take the knight? Takes. Oh, I see. This is a genius idea. Okay, this is an amazing move. This bishop at d5. This is, and I didn't really realize it. This bishop at d5.
I see.
The point is it. Yeah,
I special uh, bishop d5 there.
yeah. But it's a really special move because not only does it guard this square, it carries a threat of if he does nothing, like if he did nothing, you're going bishop takes pawn, king takes, queen here check, he blocks or moves the king, and queen takes bishop.
Uh,
So
bishop? No. I think another.
and okay, so realistically after this he does something like e6 to block you, but then you got bishop takes pawn.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so what were you thinking?
I
Maybe
need pawn. I need pawn.
you need pawn. Yeah, but this. Oh, you were thinking of taking here? Yeah, so
No. Wait.
why don't, you can move the pieces if you want to, by the way. So in this
Take b7.
take, okay, you like take b7. Okay, so here. Okay, so the obviously the threat is queen here check and takes here.
No, I see. Maybe, yeah.
So that's why bishop at d5 is such a beautiful move
Mm.
because it protects knight check here, which would mate you, but it also threatens this check and picks up the bishop.
I was waiting. I was waiting for the moment to go on the attack.
Yeah, yeah, of course. You want to attack, but the problem is any knight or any rook mates you, so you're in desperate situation to defend here.
Yes,
And this
I,
even
I,
this looks
I
dangerous.
remember it.
Yeah, I mean even this. I honestly I wouldn't know how to play this position. It just looks so dangerous. Like how can I attack when any piece I trade will get me mated? Basically, any knight or any rook is likely to get me mated unless I'm really careful. And okay, so it's asking for moves like this. Okay, so that really makes
Mm.
sense. Oh, that's actually quite beautiful. So if you can get a knight and a bishop in, then you can start defending. Because if he does nothing, now you're fine. Now you can go knight takes pawn,
Yeah, yeah.
pawn takes, bishop takes, and now you're fine. Trade all the rooks you like. Yeah. Okay, so you're not completely fine, but you're okay. Anyway, this is really hard position. But I don't know, somehow you survived. Okay, you gave your king that little luft, and he had a rook, but so I mean probably probably he did have something if he did stuff like this on you and just pushed your king out into just pushed your king out into the middle of the board. Even though he doesn't have mate, your king is just stuck in the middle of the board here. So he probably would have had something, but instead he went for the rook, and yeah, I don't know what happened, but Zaraza somehow survived this. Viewers, just look at this. Zaraza just ran her king and just kept on running,
Run, king, run.
and then and in this in this, okay, this actually I'm going to put up as like a puzzle on chess variance training. In this position, Zaraza technically had mate already with a crazily beautiful mate. So what you do is you go knight g6 check, and that clears away the h7 pawn. h7 pawn gone. And then you go rook h7 check, and then king takes rook. And you could go bishop takes pawn, and that will also mate. But you do something even prettier. You go rook at h6 check. And the king can't take it because it's defended by the knight, so has to take it with the pawn. And now the g7 pawn is gone. So notice we took away the h7 pawn, then we took away the g7 pawn,
Take bishop.
and now the queen is mate. Oh, hi there, Andrejel. Thanks for the tier 1 sub. So kind of you. And
Oh, nice.
thanks, Obi.
Uh-huh.
Just check that one out.
Might.
Isn't that beautiful? Knight check, clear it out. Rook here check. And to be honest, most normal people would just do this. Would just do this check, and this is also mate.
Your brain.
Like queen g5 and king here and queen takes g7. The point is this is going to be mate in the end. King e6 and rook e5. I mean, this is going to be mate in the end. But so that was always going to be mate in the end by taking on g6. So the key idea was knight here, clearing out a rook and then taking here. But then there's an even more beautiful one, which is you go rook here and queen here. And notice like white's two pawns used to be
Nice.
White's two pawns used to be, once upon a time, White's pawns were on h7 and g7. But after a few checks, they ended up on g6 and h6, which is very convenient because you can then land your queen on g7 with checkmate. It's like,
Excellent move.
yeah. So,
Thank you. Okay.
yeah, very beautiful. But okay, you did this, which is also very nice, except it hangs mate in 2 apparently, with queen c4, queen c4 check, king takes knight, and queen here checkmate. Apart from that, it's nice because I mean you can see that now they're dangerous mating attacks with like rook here check, knight here smother. But okay, he missed that mate, and you kept on running, which is nice, and you got the back rank mate on him. So
Then I missed. I missed this pawn.
do you want to show what you're? Yeah.
I want take on knight on e7. Back.
Okay.
What? There.
Yeah.
No. King g8.
Yeah.
There. Knight on e7. I
Knight,
wanted.
knight on e7. No, but pawn was good. Pawn was good. I mean, knight on e7.
In game.
Do this, and then then queen here would be
Bishop g8. Bishop.
bishop g8, and then comes up.
Um.
You got this. So what you have to think about in these sorts of situations is which squares can the king? So what do you mark?
Maybe.
Which squares can the king run to?
Maybe queen g5. G5 and.
By the way, in this position,
Yes,
where can the king run to? It
and
can run to here.
pawn d4.
Yeah. Okay. So they'll get there in the end, but
Yes. Bishop c g5.
okay. So also queen here is a good way of cutting the king off.
No.
But okay. So king here, queen here,
f7. Yeah.
queen here, king here,
Ah.
and then
Pawn d4.
pawn d4. Okay, so that will work basically because he's forced to take it, and then you take back, and it's checkmate.
Queen.
Yeah, so it's all over. But notice. So firstly, this check is fine, but notice how this check is keeps on pushing the king up the board, and you go. This is checkmate.
Oh yes.
So,
Very nice.
so that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing to notice is
Like it.
whenever the king is running, try and look which squares is it running to. It's running here. And you think, is there any piece that can cover both this square and this square? And there is. Ta-da! Let's checkmate.
Yes.
But that's very difficult to find it because we don't have a picture like the bishop and the knight and this other knight. That's very hard to visualize all these pieces. So that's why at any given moment you have to try and visualize where can the king go to next. So you draw the bishop is here, the knight's stopping it from going here. These knights are protecting each other, so they're safe. So the only square it can go to is here or here. Oh, but the bishop's cutting off here. So the only square it can go to is here. So queen here will always be a safe kind of move, queen here. But the other thing is try and think, where is it running to, and can I try and cut it off from running in that direction? And so knight there is then the answer to the problem of where is it running to. It can't go anywhere. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I go to bed.
Yeah. Sorry for keeping you up so late, and
Tomorrow I play.
good luck tomorrow.
Need to
Yeah.
relax.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Sleep well. I'm sorry for keeping you up so late.
Good luck.
Night.
Bye.
Good night, Zaraza. Zaraza.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, so that's it, stream. I shouldn't say stream, I'll sound like Nako, won't I? So that's it, Crazyhouse fans. Yes, so Pethadine says, in puzzles I put circles on the squares the king can go to, and sometimes in games. Best of luck tomorrow to Zaraza. Okay, so that was just a little instructive stream, hopefully useful for people. I thought it was quite fun to go through those games. And it might be so yeah, best of luck tomorrow. Lots more action tomorrow. I'm not sure how much I'll cover. Let's see how things go. I'll try and need to get some work done as well. But hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, definitely we learnt a lot from all the action today. We've had a bumper day of Crazyhouse. First with Clearcast covering 2 matches, then I covered 2 matches, then I covered the Happiness Bunny match, and finally a little instructive stream based on the games from Zaraza's match last week, or earlier in the week. Okay, night everyone, and keep enjoying Crazyhouse. Maybe I should raid someone. Is there someone I should raid? Is there someone I should raid? Let me know quickly. Let's see. And thanks for all the people who raided me. That's just quickly checking if there's anyone people know I should raid. Okay, nobody I know except Todovsky is doing some shogi, so let's give him some love. And shogi is, of course, Japanese chess, which inspired Crazyhouse in the first place. So, night everyone, and if those still up for some action, maybe we can learn some shogi.